morning to you, Grenada, Carriacou, Pity Martinique, the rest of the listening audience, wherever you are, regionally, internationally, in space, underground, underwater, in a submarine right now circling Grenada. We say a special, glorious Grenadian good morning to each and every one of you. And to our co-host, Devon Romain. Good morning to you, Devon.
Good morning, Sheldon. Good morning, Grenada. It's another blistering hard talk program this morning.
Ready?
Yes.
We're going today. Right? Nice. Yeah. Yes, indeed, folks. It is hard talk. Yesterday, you didn't get an opportunity to call, so we're leaving the phone lines open for the entire program today. Yeah, for the entire program today, we are ensuring that the phone lines are open. Nice? Yeah, so you know the numbers, right? 440-7377 and
347-329-3101.
Yeah, let's say a special good morning to our good friend Ian out there in Canada.
Yeah, good morning to you, my brother.
Folks, you're not hearing. Ian called us yesterday just before the program. The reason you're not hearing from him, his schedule has changed. So the hours that he's working now and when he has to leave home, it's virtually impossible for him to listen to the program live. Yeah. But he does get the, rebroadcast online and so he can always go and get that. All right. So Ian, we know the family going to tell you a special good morning to you, bro. And we hope that you have a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous one this morning. Yeah. Let's say a special good morning to the men and women of the Royal Grenada Police Force. Yeah. We do hope that you all are having a fabulous morning today, that you're prepared to go and watch. Don't ram the X, because when you ram it, you might bust the paper, you might damage the paper and think it might be a spoiled ballot. We know you're urgent. We know you want to put the X next to the house. Just take your time and put the X nice, neat, and like when he was doing penmanship when he was a child. Yeah, boy. Remember penmanship, Devon?
Penmanship and dictation.
Penmanship and dictation, boy. You had to sit down and write. You ever do it on slate? Come in and think it. You should be asking me that.
Whatever I could ask you, you tell me about slate.
I think them children and them know it's slate.
No,
right?
they know what slate, boy.
They know about slate.
And we used to get sometimes just in the plain thing, or they frame it, make it in a nice
frame.
Yeah, the frame.
You was in a nice boy school. They give us some black piece of thing and tell you right on that. Actual slate. This thing was actually a piece of stone. They get to write on. Yeah, form your letters, children, and get a piece of chalk or something. Tell you write a A, write a B on a piece of slate.
That was fun.
Nazim, you
slate.
Nazim, you use slate, nah?
Yeah. Slate, Nazim won't use slate.
Yeah, he use computer.
Yeah, slate and carrier. Remember the carrier?
The carrier.
Yeah, the carrier is what you used to put lunch in. It's like about 3 or 4 sections.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah.
You put your different thing in it. And
yes, you understand? And you open like a...
Yeah, you open like a toolkit.
Like a toolkit. Yeah. Oh, that was a bomb. That keeping the food real. Your mother cook for you in the morning. By 12 o'clock, food hot still.
I didn't get that one. I get them old blue lunch kit and them that
square. You get the whole thing, man.
Yeah.
The carrier was a real thing, Jed.
That and them canvas book bag. Yeah, them thing they are know about.
I read that thing that came to my mind this morning. All those who remember what they call Macintosh. You know when you pee in bed, man, they say put up something underneath the sheet, they call up some Macintosh. So you wouldn't
wear the sponge.
You wouldn't wear the sponge. Or the fiber.
I wonder how Devon know about that one.
Well, I say pee bed, I mean, I ain't go hide that. That is normal thing.
Folks, good morning. Yes, it is hard talk. Sorry about that.
Hard talk, but hey, you know.
5 days and some hours away.
Yeah.
5 days and some hours away. Yeah.
Yep.
So 5 days and some hours away from you being able to cast your ballot. We hope you are ready. We hope you've already made a decision. Yeah. And we know it's only one real decision to make. This thing is not multiple choice. There's only one real answer on the ballot, and that's the new National Party. You look for the symbol of the house. Say it with me. House. That's the symbol we're looking for. House. That's the only symbol we want to see. House. So that's what we're looking for. The symbol of the house. All right? Nice. Hey, short leg. Good morning. Yeah, I hope you're there. I hope you're ready. I hope you're charged up because we heading Pearls on Sunday. Yeah, boy. But the amount of truck, van, and all kind of thing I hear going up there, Papa, yo.
I want to give short leg a warning. Short leg. You play with the dog. The dog will leave you on the ground, you know. I find you be falling the man and play going down. You will stay down there, you know, boss. All right.
And just remember, it has certain people that say they want the braggart boss.
You understand?
And everybody to see.
Everybody to see.
But tell them it's some serious jeans he does be wearing there. Nothing
serious
happening.
jeans.
Yeah, they too Marco. What they want to see? What they want to see?
Good morning to Karaku and Pidi Matnik.
Yes,
Sister Kindra Maturin Stewart. Good morning to you, my dear. And just keep the oil burning, keep moving. And don't let nothing stop you.
Shortleg says he has something planned for Sunday, something special for Sunday. Well, I'll look in to see. Yeah, he say he call it what? Yeah, Shortleg, you want me to say what you call it? Nah, I wonder if you want me to say what you call it. He say he has something special planned for Sunday. All right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Carol Dikoto out of Karaku, good morning.
Good morning as well. Good morning as well to you, Hannah. Hope that everything is going all well and okay on your end. Yeah, indeed. Watch. Let me touch the piece of song for them again now, man. Everybody free them, man. Everybody free them, man.
Everybody free them, man.
Yeah, we free. Everybody free them, man.
You line up. But it's not NNP alone. The whole country Fred Nazim. Hey, everybody Fred Nazim. Everybody Fred Nazim. The whole country Fred Nazim. Not NNP alone. Everybody Fred Nazim. Everybody Fred Nazim. The whole country Fred Nazim. Not NNP. Show me your hand if you're afraid him. Put up a rag if you're afraid him. Wave up your flag if you're afraid him. Wave. Show me your hand if you're afraid him. Put up a rag if you're afraid him. Wave up your flag if you're afraid him. Hey. The public servants who couldn't they pay on time and they afraid him. The Imani workers that they send.
Why are they so afraid, huh?
Senior citizens.
They're saying we afraid him. But
Man, they afraid him.
why is the NDC so afraid?
Too much lies.
Let me go ahead, Devon.
Well,
Go ahead.
I would think, the NDC base, I think they're very scared. They won't have a choice at this point in time, but they're scared of the leadership that someone like Vina Zimbok would provide. You see?
Leadership? That's what that's called.
Well,
What you doing?
well, I'm very unstable.
That's what that's called. What you doing? Leadership?
Well, I'm trying to find another word for it, so I had to compromise. Just the leadership, the lack thereof. You understand? But they're very concerned. As much as they're going into the election, and so as a party, trying to make people feel that they are a united team, but they are not. They're all worried about the leadership or lack thereof of Nazim Burke. See, unstable, vindictive, right? I mean, not people-oriented and that sort of thing. So, I mean, they're concerned. Look at his record as a finance minister between 2008 and 2013, right? Look at the performance. The economy went to shambles. He regressed, reverse gear. You understand? I mean, who wants to go back there? Not even the NDC supporters want to take that chance.
Now, see one jumping up and down on top of thing like a monkey yesterday. Dress up like a yellow clown.
Like a yellow clown. He always, this guy always do that.
Yeah. Seemed as though there was some chemicals influencing his behavior.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna go down that road.
It seemed like that.
But let me say this though. I am extremely concerned about the behavior of many of the supporters of the National Democratic Congress.
Very concerned.
I must say I'm very concerned. And here's why I'm concerned. Because all you're going to end up getting a blowout. You all interfering with people, and we don't need that sort of thing. One must be able to respect another person's position. Yeah? We on Hard Talk respect anybody's position to support the new National Party, the National Democratic Congress, or any other organization, or not to support any organization if you do feel inclined to do so. We have absolutely no problem with that. We would like you to support our party.
Of course.
But we wouldn't cuss you or try to abuse you for not supporting our party. Like the same one with that bus yesterday. Goes to the gas station and abuses one of the workers simply because he believes that that person, they said, that man is an NNP supporter, and starts to cuss and throw words at the man and that kind of thing. A young lady working down at SGU, she has on her band on her hand. One of their people find it necessary to tell the young lady not only to make all sorts of accusations against me, don't worry, you, me, and my lawyers will have a conversation immediately after election. Be assured of that. Yeah? But also to try and tell the young lady all kind like you're stupid for wearing an NNP band, and you're stupid for this, and you're stupid for that, and that kind of thing. And it goes in line with some of the things that KB has been saying. Yeah? You have activists at the NDC out there spreading all sorts of scandalous and nasty information about people. And as soon as they get a letter from a lawyer, they call in and beg pardon. Yeah? As soon as they get a letter, because they always know until they end up in front of the magistrate. They always know for a fact certain things until they end up in front of the magistrate. Remember, before the 2008 election, as far as they were concerned, they were saying that Gregory Bowen was one of the most corrupt people. That's what the NDC was saying before the last election. That as soon as they come in, who and who was going up the hill, they better pack the bag one time.
That's a fact.
The NDC came in. Yeah? Nazim Burke and others held a meeting down at the Red Cross, and he was saying that he have all the information. I don't know if you was there, Devon, but at the Red Cross, and say that he have all the information, and they just crossing all the T's and they dotting all the I's to detain Gregory Bowen and Keith Mitchell and others in the NNP. That is what he came to his supporters not too long after the election, and we're talking about just a few weeks after.
Yeah, it might be about between 3 weeks to 5 weeks, somewhere around there.
Had a meeting and tell them that they spent 4.5 years in office. Not a bailiff deliver a letter to Dr. Mitchell or Mr. Bowen. Not one. Because they knew that what they were saying were lies. And that there was no truth to it. But they believed that you stupid, so they could say anything to you. And you're going to believe it. But prove to them just how intelligent you are. On March the 13th, bury them politically. Bury them politically. And members of the NDC, you must stop allowing your leaders to disrespect you like that. Stop allowing them to disrespect your intelligence, because you're intelligent people. Grenada don't have no stupid people. We don't have stupid people. I could carry places that have stupid people. Grenada does not have stupid people. Yeah? We may not understand certain aspects of certain things until it is explained to us, but Grenada does not have stupid people. And as such, you must tell your leadership to stop telling you them stupidness. I ain't saying the leadership stupid. I'm saying what they're telling you is stupidness. And you must call them out on it. Now, Devon Romain is not a candidate on behalf of the NNP. But they would go around and say all kind of thing about Devon. I'm not a candidate. They go around and they say all kind of thing about me. Why? Because you see the song, they freed him, they freed him, they freed him. They freed us. They freed Devon a lot. We heard the political leader, the NDC, and his thing, they go strip him in public and things. So we know to expect that sort of nasty behavior from the leadership and activists of the NDC, because we know very well that that is all that they have to offer. Pipe dreams and scandalizing people's name.
And threats. See, and think people will take these things lightly.
See, they see a young lady sporting a band. Don't worry, as soon as we come in, we're getting rid of you. That's the sort of thing, because they want you to not put on an NNP t-shirt. They want you to be afraid to put on an armband, a wristband. They want you to be afraid to go in a rally or to go in a meeting in a village. They want you to be afraid. But we are here today to tell you, do not be afraid. And anytime they interfere with you, call the police.
Call the police. Or let us know. Call us and let us know.
It is illegal to do things like you come on a man's workplace. Now, you know the man can't answer because you're in the workplace. So you go there and you verbally abuse the individual. You cuss them, you say all kind of thing, and you tell them there's thief and all kind of thing. You can't watch a person and call them a thief. That shows a certain level of mental instability on your behalf. Now, I had to speak about it today because it's going way above and beyond by these NDC activists out there.
It's necessary.
They need to stop the stupidness. And the burden falls on their leader. He is such a disgustingly desperate individual that he will not speak to his supporters and tell them to behave. Nazim Burke, speak to your supporters.
Speak to them. Speak to them, boss.
Speak to your supporters.
Speak to them. Okay.
It passed the stage now where them just tearing down the posters and so, you know.
Imagine in buses,
You're threatening people?
People passing in bus, you're throwing water on them, you're throwing alcohol on them, all because they're in a bus and they're wearing green T-shirts. And so,
all decent Grenadians should vote against that type of behavior. Don't tell me nothing about no debates and all this kind of thing. Don't tell me nothing about no debates.
But then
tell me about the leader of the NDC speaking to his people and tell them stop that violent and that goonish behavior.
But then again, Sheldon, for months now, we have been warning the Grenadian people of what these guys are about to hatch. I mean, look at the training exercises they had, right? To disrupt the election, to create chaos, to slow it to hell down. I mean, we have been telling, and they can't dispute it. They have been training, right, the activists, right, in my view, to be violent, to be aggressive to fellow Grenadians, right? We must never allow that.
Exactly. Because we know that they have brought in people that have done that training, and that training that you've heard that clip from, we'll play during the program today, is not from 2018, it's from 2017.
2017.
Since last year, they've been training their people, and they've had, as Vincent Roberts himself told you, they've had that training throughout the islands.
Exactly.
So that means that they would have had their people from Petit Martinique come down to Carriacou and do that training.
Yep.
So those of you in Petit Martinique have to look out to see who is the scamps that the NDC is going to place in the polling station on election day. We want to know who is the scamps the NDC is going to have in polling stations. Anybody we see, we know the qualification to be an indoor agent. Or look at so like me as much as I want, I ain't care. I ain't care. But we know that the qualification to be an indoor agent for the NDC on election day is you must be a scamp. Because they say straight, if you are not scampish, they want you inside day.
And if you're not prepared to disrupt the election on that day as an agent, they don't want you. So we clearly see where they are going with that. They can't win it by the ballot, so they are using intimidatory methods to prevent people from voting. Grenadians, we must not allow that sort of, division among our people.
Yes, indeed. We have a call online.
Good morning and welcome.
Hello.
Good morning.
Morning, Mr. Scott.
Morning, sir. How are you?
How are you, sir?
We're good.
Mr. Scott, them people don't want to black people in the polling station. They better know who they blacking, you know. They better know who they blacking.
Yeah,
because nobody ain't blocking me up as St. John. Thank you.
All right, my brother. Yeah, because they intend to slow the process down.
Yeah.
You have heard it. They never expected that we would have had it, but you know how talk has a way of getting certain things. So they never expected us to have it.
I also know, correct me if I'm wrong, sir, that the law allows the candidate to come in.
Now, let me see if I could find that, man. I must have it somewhere there.
You have to continue to remind persons of what
because
they are planning.
We want them to know, we want you all to know exactly what is planned by the NDC.
Because the point is, when people like me get involved, is if your opponent is going to win this box, slow it to hell down. Object to every possible thing. Have the line outside as long as possible so that the people get frustrated, standing in the hot sun or the rain, and they go home. And at the end of the night, who does that affect? Is one of your stronger boxes, right? So while we intend to replicate that, where it's to our advantage as well, we need to guard against it on our flanks. And this. I'm throwing a lot at you, but know that this is just like, I want to hear what you guys think.
Yeah. You understand? Slow the process down, and who is it going to benefit? You.
Exactly.
Yeah? So if you look in the line, and because they've been canvassing, and they generally know that these people support them, these people don't support them, so they look at the line, and they realize there's a bunch of NNP people stand up outside to vote, and rain about to fall, they're going to start to do things, question people's right to vote in that area and so on. They're going to do things in the polling station to slow down the process so that those of you standing up outside, they're going to get wet in the rain. That is what they think.
That is what they think.
That is what they think. that we're going to allow you all to get, they think we're going to make you all get wet in the rain. Or they think that we're going to make sure that you all stand up out there in the sun. Yeah? They think they're going to slow it down and you all go stand up in the sun. But let them know. We know their plan already. Yeah. Walk with your umbrella. Go in town and buy your umbrella now.
We prepared for them.
Go in town and get your umbrella and don't get a green one. You can't take it there.
Yeah.
Get a blue, get a white.
Yeah, blue or white.
A neutral color.
A red.
Yeah. So don't go with the other one because you got a problem. Mister, come inside here and let me see there's something. Come and sit down. You ain't getting away today. Sit down there. Yeah. Nice. Feel you will get away? Sit down there.
But what? I so afraid. I don't want no man come and ambush me and think, NBC don't see already. They want to strip me naked, all kind of thing already.
Man, just open the door behind Devon.
I ain't taking no chance and thing. I getting ready to
Mr. Benjamin, hook up that man there. Let me see what's going on. Let's take this phone call in the interim, Devon. Yes.
Morning, Sheldon and Devon.
Good morning to you,
I hope today I'm the customers. I'm not working today.
You're resting off.
I'm going to funeral.
Oh, Stella?
Yes.
Stella,
yes.
So I want the customers to know I'm not on the terminal today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mr. Watts, good morning, and Patty and Matthew in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Good morning.
And Cammy, it has somebody else in studio here, you know. It has somebody in studio here. Let me let him tell you hello. Tell Cammy hello.
Good morning, Cammy.
Hello, good morning.
Well, I make a joke and I ask what I
could hardly hear that person, you know.
Go ahead, Zingo.
Yeah, good morning,
Zingo. Morning, Mr. Watts. Yeah, come and look for me yesterday.
Yeah, well, I'll come in and look for you tomorrow.
I won't today.
We're going to see in the funeral this evening.
Yes. Anyhow, Mr. Scott
yes,
and Mr. Romain.
Yes, my darling.
Let me I have something to say this morning. Allow me, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
So let the Grenadian people know. You have some people, as you say, they are harassing people. Somebody has me. There is one woman from Grand Roy. I've been buying she jacks for years. I'm buying she jacks. All of a sudden, the lady just harassing me. I didn't do Miss Elman nothing. Last week Friday, she come and the bus terminal. She was going to do she business. And the woman just start on me so foot. You know, and she all kind of thing and how I have pressure. That was she wants and about me so foot. I ain't doing nothing, Mr. Scott. I could have answered her. But I say I go hold my peace because you know what will happen? They're going to say NNP people causing NDC.
Yes, that's what they want.
Right?
That's what they want.
And I have a lot of witness that was on the bus terminal. And the other, she even go on the pizza railing and cock up she put and demonstrating about it with what, I know what I have. But she don't know what she go have. Get. You know? I know what I have. She don't know what she will get.
Rest on them, Cammy.
Yeah. I know what I have. I know I have her so put, but she don't know what she will get.
Yep.
She from Grand Roy. She living in Grand Roy. I just buy her she jacks when she had jacks selling in she bucket. You understand? So I want her to know. I wouldn't buy she jacks again because I have me so put. Right? I didn't want it to reach there. I go in this fish house to get some fish last week. And he had some people there. Vendors, they were buying all the time. They refused to sell me this fish. I ain't telling a lie. It's the gospel truth. At NDC, woman tell me, Miss Cammy, I bought some from her. She said, Miss Cammy, you know why they're not selling you? Because you have on your NNP jersey. And that is people, we're not reproaching anybody. That is people that when they go by Dr. Mitchell, when they go in the office, he take care of them, he help them. We too ungrateful and bad-minded in this country. Another thing, you have some of them in bushes you hear, and I don't afraid to say, that is that area where we live in that village. I think everybody that live in that village, the Prime Minister do something for them. There is no doubt about that. He do something good for them. They get road, They get this, they get that, they get a galvanized, they get a piece of board, they get a boxer, they get a thing of cement, they get 2 blocks, that is his job, to help us. And he don't choose who is NDC, who is NSP, who is gay right, he helps everybody. And I sit on a bus, and I heard one woman say, he don't do nothing for him. When I know Mr. Scott, allow me. Because that's killing me, I can't sleep in the night. That's killing me. When I heard that woman say on the bus the morning, and I was on the bus, they don't do nothing for them. That road, it did not road, you know. It did not road on the hill, God Almighty. And these people come all the way when they had them in Pandy and live on the hill. And that man helps everybody. They get house, they get more than one house. They get more than one house, Mr. Scott. The children get 2. They get road. You don't have a day work, they don't pass, they don't get a day work. And when I hear that lady say that, I say, Lord. When I hear that lady say, I have to pinch myself. Sheldon, if I fall, I don't want to touch me. If I fall in the road, I don't want to touch me. Trust me.
Ah, boy. Kami?
I'm telling you, Mr. Scott, I'm serious.
No, and I know you're talking the truth.
And it's hurting me.
I know you're talking the truth.
It's hurting me, Camille. They come back, they're talking about the Prime Minister break my shop. The Prime Minister did not break my shop by the tunnel. A man by the name of Gomez from Vendom and the physical planning people that come and break my shop. Wasn't the Prime Minister. Was not Dr. Kit Mitchell that break my shop. Gomez. And Gomez based in Trinidad now. You understand? And if they break it, they wasn't nice. You hear me?
Yeah.
That was the time when they had to decree it. They moved some of us up on the side of the road because they say of the visitors that was coming, and they wasn't nice. Okay? They wasn't nice. And was not the Prime Minister, Mr. Gomez. But I benefit more, Mr. Scott.
Yeah.
I, Camille, benefit more than the little boat thing that broke the little White House. Yes, I was making a little money there. I was a nice little venue, and I was comfortable in the corner there. At the time, I was angry. Anybody would have been angry that had a little business, and they broke it. And I was very upset. I didn't even want to hear about NND. But I was not going to be grave with that. You understand? Mr. David came to my rescue. And Mr. George resigned. And I'm in the bus terminal. And I'm doing good. Better than when I was in the corner there.
Right.
Okay? So I want the Grenadian people to know that. Everybody beating up on me. Everybody have all the worst thing to say about Camille. Yeah?
Kami,
Yeah?
you know it's not you alone. You know it's all of we just get it because
Well, yes,
you
and
just hear them and they're attacking me. You
Mr.
just hear
Scott, don't bother with them.
No,
God is able.
I don't listen.
Yesterday, one tell me that it's a few days, and the woman come to me, you know, and she tell me we go work on something because she understand. She understand that a few days a half day. How they get rid of me? I'm waiting. I'm waiting.
If now you feel as you alone they have to deal with
What?
it.
I'm waiting for you patiently.
Let it feel as you alone they
You
have
don't
to
go
deal
in
with
them story. So I'm
But
waiting.
it ain't gonna happen anyway. But Kami,
But
go and organize because I got KB coming to the studio now too. So
yes,
it's a
I
whole
want to
squad
tell
in here.
them I have my bed makeup. My bed makeup here. My bed makeup in Bushes where I live in. Right? And all you have a good day.
All right, my dear.
And listening.
All right.
And Dingo money.
Yeah, well, I'll see you tomorrow.
Dingo will bring on the pants to me.
Auntie coming down with it.
All right,
I tell them
guys.
size 6.
And
I'll
money,
make a-
Mr. Prime Minister.
I'll make a mistake and I say size 6, boy, they laugh at me.
What? Sheldon, where are having meeting later?
I have to check my email. I didn't check
Yes,
my
so
email
we'll
yet,
check
so I'll
it for
check
me,
it
please.
and I'll let you know.
Yes.
All right, my love.
Bye-bye.
I know they have one in Closure and they have one in River Sally. Those two I know off the top of my head.
And around.
They have it around St. George, but I'll give you that. The list is here, so I'll read it out in a short while.
I think
Yeah.
Delma have
Okay.
it.
You want grateful.
No, but it's a true thing. And we all of us here in this room, and we have to say a special good morning again to Zingo and to KB who has joined us. So Devon, you have to put our mic right between you and KB. So two of you go here, all your proper day this morning.
We're sharing this morning.
I ain't sharing no mic.
We hearing proper. We hearing proper.
Yeah,
you are saying you want to share no mic.
I ain't sharing no mic.
We ready? Ready for Carrico ready?
We ready?
Yes, man. Just to let people know though, the meetings for today. Carrico, it's in Dover by Evelyn Shop, St. George Southeast, that's Brother Gregory Bowen, and Confer Junction in Calavini, Cloger in St. John, and River Sally, a joint meeting between St. Patrick East and West in River Sally Junction later. All right? Yeah, that River Sally.
What's about Sister Delma Thomas meeting?
I'm not seeing it on this list. There probably is. Sometimes you don't get all of the meetings on the list. So I'm pretty sure she has a meeting. I did hear her mention something. Yeah.
I think that's a big meeting in Mount Horn.
Mount Horn. Well, Mount Horn would definitely be a big meeting. That's not a small one, no?
Mount Horn, that's not a small one.
No,
Yeah.
small one.
Tell you that's going to be a really, really big meeting.
Northwest Mount Horn.
Northwest.
Yeah.
Tough, you know.
But folks, we've just been mentioning some of the behavior of some of the NDC activists. You have one went to a gentleman's workplace yesterday and verbally abused the young man. Verbally abused him simply because he heard that young man is a supporter of the NNP. You have people who are wearing their wristbands, and when some of the NDC activists see them, calling them stupid, thief, all sorts of unkind things, and accusing them of being stupid, saying, no, they walk over and all this sort of nonsense. Some things that even make sense repeating. Your views on these kind of things. KB, you were here just recently speaking about a lady that she actually lose a place to live.
Yeah. I spoke to Roland Bowler, and we will find a spot for her and build a house for her. And yesterday, another woman reported to me from Sotés, that she woman with a restaurant in Sotés, she just fire NNP just because she wear the green jersey. She go and dance behind Dr. Mitchell. So she paid the price for that. So she out of job now. You know, and they came in the market and looked for me yesterday and said, KB boy, that's a lot of prosecution we're going through. I say, yes, but tell her to change your jersey. Don't change your jersey. Don't matter how much they demonize you. Don't stand up. And it's painful, you know, and it's what they're doing. They're forcing us to victimize them, but we can't do that. We can't victimize them.
We refuse to do that.
We can't.
We don't believe in that.
No, we can't victimize them. I was surprised I visited a couple meetings last night. I passed to Dunfermline, Honorable Delma Thomas, and Skita had a good one there. And I passed to Montrich. Mr. Boson had a wonderful one day. But when I went in the NDC meeting in Samaritan, in front of the Nutmeg pool, right there, and the deputy political leader of the NDC was there, and also it's a joint meeting with the one in St. Mark's. He represent from St. Mark's.
Yeah.
You know,
that's how you could name the representative.
I always forget his name.
I forget. Well, we don't know.
You can't remember the guy name.
Yeah, but
Jerome, I think
Jerome Thomas, I think. Yeah, he was on the mic when I went.
But KB, even worse, and Mr. Technical Man stand by. Even worse is that we had a wonderful meeting in Belmont in Carriacou last night. But there was an attempt by the NDC to block the road. In fact,
yes,
they did block the road. Mr. Technical Man,
that's right.
Let the viewers of Hard Talk see what the NDC in Carriacou would have done. They're so afraid, Kindra. Well, are you talking about who afraid who and who afraid who?
that is what they prepared to do.
The more I talk, the more messages coming in, you know. Yeah, this is what they did. They blocked the road last night.
That's a log that is there?
Yeah, along with a fridge and some tires. That's what they used, and they blocked the road in Carriacou last night to stop Kindra Maturin Stewart, the soon-to-be, in 5 days and some hours, the soon-to-be MP for Carriacou and Petit Martinique, to stop her from attending that meeting in Belmont. If they're so strong in Carriacou, they're afraid.
Well, what responsible for that?
This is one of two blockages. This is just one of two blockages of the roads in Carriacou last night to try and stop. Listen, don't do it.
No.
Don't do it.
No.
It's not like we would respond and block the road from the NDC.
No.
You had some
We
of them
don't need
passing
to. We
around.
don't need to.
So why,
In a particular
why we have
constituency
to-
last
why we
night,
have
there
to
was a
block the
DJ
road?
truck out in the middle of the night after 9. A
Uh-huh.
DJ truck passing.
Last
That is illegal.
That's illegal.
Yeah. See if it's a political
It's illegal.
meetings thing. But let me ask you, as the writing is solid, as they see the writing on the wall,
Yeah.
they'll become more desperate, more angry and more violent, you know. I hope they don't turn violent, but
Yeah.
at least you can see the desperation. Last night, I tell you, I stood up and I listened the deputy political leader deliver for the NDC, and you know, you could count their vote. You couldn't count the number of people in Dunfermline. You couldn't count the number of people in Montreach, but it was easy to count. Well, I get 45 people in the meeting I count 45 people in the meeting in Samaritan last night. The joint meeting.
And a joint meeting.
Joint meeting with, because they border in Samaritan and
Yeah.
St. Patrick's West, they
Yeah.
border in, and both of them was there. And I said, Lord. And you could see they're so deflated, the whole, and down-spirited. I think it's like you run at 2 miles and you're just barely fighting to cross the line. You know, you can see it. And it seems as though I convinced now that it would be a miracle if we lost a seat. If NNP lost a seat, it would be a miracle.
Because that's sort of desperation, because they keep trying to give the impression to people here on mainland that the Carriacou seat is somehow in danger for the new national,
Yeah.
and that is not the case.
Yeah,
But they
that's
keep trying to give that impression. I mean, they've actually sent their entire family up to Petit Martinique to campaign.
Just but the point is
In an
that
attempt to try and turn
Robert's
Petit Martinique out.
as you well, not only them,
Family?
I ain't afraid to call
not
it
only them,
Sharon, Vincent, and Kennedy.
Yeah.
but not
And
only
Petit
them.
Martinique people know I ain't lying.
So what happens? So so Miss Rush don't calling her people in Carriacou too. You don't calling your family in Carriacou. Prime don't calling the people in Carriacou. All the NNPites don't
Zingo don't
calling
call
it.
any family
You
in
don't call
Carriacou.
Zingo. You don't calling your people in Carriacou too. So they think we're taking that line down and rolling over just
Yeah,
so.
we're not going to sit down this time.
No,
No.
my family
We're not gonna
together
sit down
and their
this time.
family in
No.
Carriacou.
Who have friends in Carriacou, NNPite, call them out. Because you're taking no chance. We don't want to win by 6 and 7 vote or lose by 6 and 7. We want big victory in every polling station. 400.
My thing is, Sheldon, this desperation is that we are seeing
Yeah.
is because of one thing.
Yeah.
The noose
Yeah.
getting tighter.
Yeah.
The noose. No, I'm telling you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
don't listen to me. We gotta be careful.
Yes.
We gotta be careful. We can't sit down. We know we can't sit down, but we gotta guard ourselves because as that noose get tighter,
they'll be more desperate.
that desperation go move from desperation to anger. And I hope, I just sincerely hope that he doesn't reach to that, because come on, all the time.
Our people do not fall for it. They
Yeah,
want you to
we
respond.
can't fall for that.
So if they come and they
Yeah.
cuss you, they want you come up and slap them.
Yeah,
They
that's
want
what
you to
they
respond in that kind of way. And then
Yeah.
nobody will have video footage of when they were cussing you and telling you about your
No.
mother. But they gonna have footage of when you respond
Yeah.
to the person. So that's why we continue to say do not be baited.
No, we
Take
can't
the
be-
Martin
we can't
Luther
take
King
the bait.
Gandhi
Yeah.
approach.
Yeah, higher.
Allow them to say what they have to say. If they touch you, if they touch you,
The police.
the police.
Call the police.
Yeah.
Police.
Call
They
the police.
Call the police.
Yeah, Grenada is a country of laws.
Yeah.
You call the police.
And
And the commissioner not making joke.
it's wonderful to know, despite all the roadblocks in Carriacou, it was a wonderful meeting last night.
They couldn't stop it.
They
Couldn't stop that meeting.
They couldn't stop it.
Good
And that-
morning to Wilson and the folks. I know this.
Skylark, morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, Skylark, good morning.
Yes,
to you.
I like.
My friend
I
Scrape,
like on the platform now. Yeah.
my friend Scraper from Carriacou, how you going?
They're trying
Go
to
and
block
look
the
stripper.
traffic. They can't block no traffic.
Let's keep a ball, man.
Wrong good.
Yes. I coming up there and share that victory with my sister the next couple days after the election, because I tell you, she have it hard in Carriacou. You know, she really put up a fight.
Yeah.
And we want to give her all the support, all our friends and family. Call, don't sit down, don't take it lying down. And it is, you know, the respond, you know, is all because of gratitude. The people of this country, Carriacou and Petit Martinique, they're grateful for what was done, you know, with the achievement of the government. And at least gratitude is something you don't come easy, and when you do well, you get gratitude. If you do bad follow you. You fail to perform.
Let's say a special good morning to my good friend out there in Karaku, Curtis Mills. Happy birthday, bro. We hope that you have a wonderful one today. So, Curtis, happy birthday to you.
To you. Happy birthday to you.
That's some hard talk. Happy birthday. Yeah, Curtis.
Curtis, big up.
I ain't singing. I leave it
I
that
got
to
to
them
go in
singing.
Carrico before the election.
And Curtis, Curtis, call somebody, tell somebody, make sure. We know you're a man like to use your phone. Call everybody in Karaku and convince them, remind them. Make sure they know they have to get up early and vote. Because we keep saying, because I've heard of part of the plans as well, is to get their people to vote early and then intimidate others, either to vote for them or not to vote at all. And so we have to be careful and look out for these sort of things. Another problem that has been cropping up, I've been attempting to get the parliamentary office on the line this morning. I was unsuccessful, so we'll try a little later on or tomorrow, especially since the police are voting on Friday. Some business places are making statements to their workers about they're going to deduct their pay if they don't show up to work. One particular entity who I shall be reporting officially, located in the Frequente Industrial Estate, who I, Sheldon Scott, through the New National Party, will be officially reporting on, has told their workers they'll have 2 hours to vote. And if they come after that 2 hours, their pay will be reduced, which is against the law of Grenada.
Of course.
If you're a company and you're operating within the state of Grenada, you stay within the law or you pay the consequences. But believe this, we are waiting for you to deny those people the right to vote, then deal with you in the courts. We're going to tell you early and make sure that you know, so that if you violate, you will receive the full brunt of the law. There are also other businesses in the town of St. George, who are telling workers that they are not allowed to get the day off or the morning off or the evening off to work, which is again against the law. The law states clearly that you must allow workers to vote, and that if they stay over the time, you cannot deduct from their salary. You cannot deduct from their salary. And any employer who does that, I can assure you, will be facing the full brunt of the law. They say I like to threaten people. That's not a threat. That's not a promise.
That's not a threat.
That's not a threat.
Did I say I just threaten people? I ain't threatening nobody. I promise it that this will be happening.
It's
Just
in
to
the
make it
law.
clear.
The law is the law you're dealing with. And it's so unfair. That's so
What if a
unfair,
situation
man.
wasn't aligned to vote?
The next thing, I don't know if the workers going and vote for NNP or NDC.
Yeah, we don't know.
Anybody should be behind us on this one.
Let's suppose they walk in town and they have to go to the country to vote.
And that is exactly the situation with some of the workers who called me this morning from the town in a particular business place, who I shall also be reporting. The young ladies there, some of them live in areas like St. David and St. Andrew, and they're working in town. And some of them, they generally have to get down for about 7 a.m. in the morning. And they are being told that they can't get the time off to go and vote. So I will be making official reports today.
And call
official reports today. And those of you, 406-5422, that's my personal number. You can WhatsApp me, or you can call me after the program, or text me and let me know if your business place is giving that problem as well. So we can report it to the Parliamentary Electoral Office, and those business places can be contacted.
Sheldon, where the Ministry of Labour comes in that?
Well, the other thing is this, you mentioned something earlier about a lady losing her job. Because she was perceived to be supporting a particular political party. Because remember, not everybody that put on a yellow t-shirt is a NDC. Not everybody that put on a green t-shirt is necessarily a New National Party supporter. So it could be a perception. I believe that there are laws that are in place to deal with those particular issues. That people need to report to the Ministry of Labour in relation to that. I also believe that some of those laws, and this is one of the things that I would like to push for in the next NNP government, that I am absolutely sure this time next week when we swear in the Prime Minister will be starting the process, Yeah, but now so we swearing in with Prime Minister next week, Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell.
So
who don't like it by it.
Who don't like it by it.
This is one of the laws that I think we need to look at. The one in relation to discrimination against individuals, like you wouldn't hire a person because they carry dreadlocks, or a person is a Muslim, and because they are a Muslim you refuse to hire them, or disabled, or even worse. We have members of the Seventh-day Adventist faith in Grenada.
Yeah, you can't discriminate against
who
these people.
Apply for jobs and do not receive the jobs simply because they're Adventists and they cannot work at a certain time. And that is unfair.
Very unfair.
That is unfair, and I believe it is something that we equal opportunities or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But that is definitely something I personally will be pushing for in a new National Party government.
What will we do with those people who get victimized because they wear that green jersey and lost their job? For example, the lady in Satés. What we'll do to that? How we'll handle the owner of that, that business place,
we wouldn't victimize them.
The person who lost the job. Devon, what do you think? How we should handle these people?
Well, the thing is, at this point in time, all we could appeal to people is just be calm, right? And don't make no fuss, don't challenge, don't get violent, don't make no argument. That is what they want us to do, right? If the matter cannot be settled before the day of the election or whatever, we will wait. We got time. We Grenadians, right? We will deal with the situation because every single Grenadian has a right to vote, a right to employment, right? You cannot and must not discriminate against any Grenadians when it comes to employment.
But what I could say is this: while you would not discriminate, if I know that, for instance, you have a particular business in the town of Grenville, and because a man has on a green band on his hand, you run him from in front of your place, I am pretty sure the same items that you're selling are being sold by a place that would not do such a thing.
Right.
So believe me, my money ain't go spend by you. And we will name you all and shame you all right here on Hard Talk. Once it is that sort of behavior, we're going to name you and shame you, not for you to be victimized, but for the people to be aware that you don't want our business, because it's simply a matter like that. If you don't like NNP people and you don't want NNP people around, then you don't like our business. And we're not saying to victimize anybody. We're not saying to bad treat anybody. But we don't want to come into your place with we ban and we hand and then you cuss us. So to avoid the confusion, we go stay away and we go spend we money by other places. Even if the other place we see up a sign and has a book inside it, we go spend we money there. Once the people do not offer us that sort of behavior. We ain't care.
I agree with you.
We ain't care. You understand? So at the end of the day, I think we need to understand some of what is going on. For instance, another one, guys, there's a story being circulated by the NDC that the new National Party has taken 2 radio stations off of air.
Yes, I heard say.
A total fabrication and lie.
Yeah.
That they are circulating that the new National Party has taken 2 radio stations off the air. Let me state clearly here. There's an issue when it comes to electricity. Surprise, surprise. Electricity and 1910, where all of the transmitters, for most of the radio stations are located in 1910. Only WeFM, I think, has a transmitter elsewhere. I think Real FM has a transmitter elsewhere as well. So all of the others, they are located in 1910. If electricity go, all radio stations go off. You all realize that. When sometimes you're looking for the program, you realize all the stations off. It's because of where the transmitters are located. And all of a sudden, the day after Doc announces the election date, we come to do Hard Talk, all the transmitters off. Power gone. Yeah? We would have liked to do a program. The man just announced the date. During the manifesto launch on Friday, power gone. So all the transmitters down again. And at other key times, don't be surprised it gone while we're talking now. Because it seems to be happening very conveniently. But that is just one thing. The NTRC, the regulatory body for radio stations on the island of Grenada, issued a notice, not just to George Grant and Chime FM, not just to 102.7 Fresh FM, but to every radio station in Grenada, that they would like them to turn their transmitters off for a short period of time because they are having interference with the radio signal to
airport.
the aircraft at the airport. In other words, a plane is coming into Grenada to land at Point Saline. They are trying to tell that plane, hold off, go into holding pattern because a plane is taking off right now. But because of the interference that they were receiving, the message will not reach the other aircraft and you could have a collision.
Okay.
You could have a plane trying to land with a next one taking off, or you cannot contact, even if there's an emergency on a plane now and they're trying to contact the base, they would not have gotten through. So they sent this to George Grant of Grant Communications, sue me, because I know I saying I could back it up. They sent this communication to George Grant and all of the radio stations to simply turn off for a short period of time so we can trace exactly which one of the transmitters is causing that problem. Because it's not all of them. It has to be one or two that are causing that problem. Only for them to realize that George Grant illegally with Chime FM was broadcasting on 1,000 watts. No, not our watts, but 1,000 watts. Radio stations in Grenada, by law, are only allowed to operate on 500 watts at the most. The most you could transmit at is 500 watts. George Grant was found to be transmitting at 1,000 watts, which was and still remains illegal. As such, he was asked to change his wattage, go down. In other words, you get your technicians, they go up and they change the transmitter from the 1,000 down to the 500, right? Instead of doing that, George Grant goes around saying that NNP shut him down.
They should shut him down for good.
And they have the others out there mouthing off this thing. They don't understand what take place. They don't. This thing endangering you, you know.
So what happened if the aircraft
crash?
Who taking the blame? Which tourists coming here again?
Imagine. I mean, a Liat flight is enough problems with something like that happening. But imagine if it's a JetBlue, American Airlines, or British Airways.
And our families are on board.
But Sheldon.
Or it crashes onto you where you are because of this nonsense. So it was interfering with the signal between aircraft and Point Saline's radio signal. The other radio station fixed the thing. They gone down to 500. Yeah. So George Grant, because he's George Grant, he mustn't go down to 500. He must stay at 1,000 and indirectly endanger the lives of you and your families.
So he was violating the law.
Exactly.
But not only that, not only that, what that reached me is that one of the stations that they complain about, they excite a gun, and another station had lost a transmitter. But they don't want to say that. Election time, they want to say NNP shut them down. Man, come out and tell people the truth. I say, come out and tell people your transmitter down. And your exciter down. Come out.
Not only that, there is a financial issue, and I can state this very, very certainly. There's a financial issue between one individual and Fresh FM. There is a financial issue where, as the individual states, Fresh FM is owing him money.
Pay the man money.
We're using his equipment.
Yeah.
And he sees his equipment.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We have the facts.
He sees his equipment. So it's not a matter, as some people trying to put it out, that the man go up there and he chop off thing and he do something. If he do something illegal, how come no police can come and ask him a question?
Well, that's why I find it strange.
If you know who it is, go up there
I come and I chop up this and your headphone can't work. And you're not calling the police.
I call the police.
So you know who it is that go and take it. You know who it is that go and take it. Yeah?
They gotta stop playing this game. They know who it is.
You off air. And you find it important to call the police and say, well, this person illegally take my equipment and go with it. No, because you know that it's a situation where that individual is owed. That individual is owed, and as such, they have taken their equipment because as far as they're concerned, like they ain't getting the money. So they decided to take it to our next level. They take what belongs to them.
How come they call the police or the man who take it?
That's what we want to know.
Call the police. Sue me.
Call the police.
They have strength and NNP.
Well, I find I ain't getting them. I see something wrong.
They have strength and NNP.
And you know we like to listen them.
Yeah, I like to listen them.
After they do all of this now, they come and they blaming the NNP. If the guy realize, he say, okay, it's election time, now save to go on that station. So if I pressure them now, I'll get the money.
I'll get my money.
So he decide that is exactly what he's going to do. He decide he's going to pressure them at this point in time to get him money. You hear all kind of thing about he base here and he base there and all kind of nonsense and stupidness. Speak the facts. Speak the facts. Don't try to lie to the Grenadian people. The stations are off air. One, because George Grant was operating illegally at 1,000 watts and interfering with the signal between the aircraft and the ground. Point Celine. And secondly, the other one, there is that financial issue between a individual, not the NNP, an individual and that radio station, and as such he has seized his equipment. So go out and tell the people that now. Yeah?
They too bad. Pay the money.
Desperation. Right. Desperation.
But again, it leads back into that same conversation. The blocking of the road. They trying to terrorize people.
Yeah.
I mean, to be so desperate that you're going at primary school sports and sharing out band to children.
Imagine
they think
that.
they're children and they're going
I heard you say that. I couldn't believe
in SAS sports, and I have facts about that.
I couldn't believe that.
Secondary school, not primary, right?
SAS, SAS school. Right, they went in the Progress Park and was distributing bands to the children. I mean,
desperation.
That's more than desperation.
Let's take a call and see what this caller has to say. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Morning.
How are you guys?
Morning.
No, I just want to say thank you to Miss Kami for sending me the T-shirt. And I just want to tell her, just keep strong. Don't worry what people have to say about her. And, you know, I just want to say how desperate this NDC people is because, you know, I met a young man and he on the bus. And he's saying to us that when NDC win the election, he hope Mr. Nazim Book have enough guns to shoot down all the NMP supporters. My God.
And have you ever heard, you hear that, right? But have you ever heard Nazim Victor Burke or the NDC go on a platform and tell their supporters that that is not the type of behavior or thoughts or actions that they should be wanting to see from our organization? I've been listening to them and I've never heard it. I haven't heard them. They're encouraging that sort of behavior.
So why they are doing it? You understand? That to show you how, and the beating of the self. If you're sure you go win the election, why are you beating up all yourself? All you sure I'll go win the election. Stop beating up all yourself. Stop making all these kind of accusations, these threats to people. But remember, God is a man. He's not sleeping. He will do his thing in the right time. He's not a spirit of confusion. He's not an author of confusion. So he know when to do it. And March 13th, he will do what he has to do. God is in control of Grenada, not man. So on March 13th, he will choose the right person, and which is Dr. Keith Mitchell. Have a good day.
All right, my dear.
Thank you.
440-7377. We want to hear from you. Give us a call.
347-329-3101.
Sheldon, I just feel it for those NNPI too, you know?
Yeah.
Encounter those kind of battering every day, those kind of humiliation every day. And they maintain the discipline, eh? They maintain the sanity. They don't react and go to the gutter like those detractors.
But Sheldon and Devon and when we go to the platform, we'll be encouraging with people
to behave well, behave civilized. That was good.
Why they can't? Why the other side can't do that? No, if they're silent about it, it means that they're encouraging it.
Yes,
if they keep silent about it, they are encouraging it. There is no no two way about it.
Remember, we have heard what they are planning.
Then again,
we've heard that they had a consultant that said, and they refuse to talk about that one. They don't want to have that conversation.
They don't want to have that conversation at all.
They don't want to have that conversation
like that
about this campish behavior.
That never exists.
They sit in Patrick Simmons' place and discuss this thing. Patrick Simmons, you had to talk out. Because you were there when they were encouraging people and telling them nothing wrong with being scampish. You sit down right there in that meeting.
This the one we heard with Glenwell?
Yes, Patrick Simmons was sitting right there.
Well, how you go talk with that?
Well, Patrick Simmons is a put on legless in the Catholic Church. You know how he could sit down there and
He
and take this
sat
thing?
right there and he listened to this thing. He sat right there and he listened to it.
Maybe that day they put out God out of that room. They put God
And
out of the room.
if they think I don't have all of their voices on it, we do. Right. So Patrick Simmons, your voice is there too.
Look at
Yeah.
surprise.
Entrix.
I could see Glenwell behaving
Yeah.
like that,
Yeah.
but not Patrick Simmons participating.
Remember
remember,
I
as well.
could see Glenn in that.
yeah.
Remember as well that this is a meeting that was replicated in every other constituency as well. So the same message that was brought to the people of St. Andrew Southeast were brought to St. George Southeast, was brought to St. David and St. Mark, St. John,
Carriacou.
St. Patrick, East and West, Carriacou, and every constituency in St. George. That individual, Victor, went to those constituencies and held sessions with their indoor and outdoor agents.
So
And this is the
there's a
training
pattern.
that they
then.
gave them.
A pattern.
Yeah.
They said the pattern.
So it's not to be expected only in St. Andrew Southeast. It is to be expected in every constituency because they said this is the model they'll be using. This is the model they'll be using. Imagine, they've also said, so therefore I have the audio here somewhere, I have to find it. They've said to their supporters as well, they know that they can't bring the mobile phones in. But they said to them, put it in your handbag. They don't search women handbag. So put it in your handbag and come in with it, turn it off. And then go to the toilet like you're going to make a call. You're going to use the toilet and call and say, look, I don't see A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I don't see these people at all. So you need to get them, which is illegal.
Yeah, you can do that.
Which is illegal.
But that's for your that's for your outdoor agent to do, not those inside.
They are encouraging the indoor agents to scam. They do
Indoor
that.
scampish behavior.
Yeah.
Scampish behavior.
Desperation.
They might even print us at a t-shirt, I'm a scamper.
Desperation.
They might print us at a t-shirt.
Desperation. That desperation.
T-shirt.
Yeah.
Sheldon, I see a particular organization in town giving away t-shirt. You ever see that? They're fighting to get people to give out t-shirt.
I know people
I
run.
I know people
ask for t-shirt and beg for t-shirt.
I've been in this thing since I'm a kid.
Yeah.
And I know when t-shirt comes, election time.
But why ain't people running
to get t-shirt running out.
And
They
then
have to print more. I saw another organization, they didn't tongue. You want a t-shirt?
and then people making confidence for cap, you know. Cap.
I just realized what cap Zingo have on.
Well, I don't even have cap.
Zingo, you go handle me. Zingo, you go handle me.
I'm going to say this here now. No, Devon, let me speak. You and Sheldon.
Lean a little so let the people see the
You and Sheldon a couple weeks ago, all come and had talk. Well decked off with green t-shirt, a nice hat, man, keep moving. The whole world love all that. I never asked all for one. I never did. No, I went to my parliamentary office this morning. You know, I must pass it to see what work you gotta do. I gotta hit the ground.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to know where I get my hat. I come here, everybody wants to know where I get my hat. I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I just reject. I don't like it. The world like it.
Rory, man. I go hold you.
We're going to put a political whipping.
Yeah.
And the man that like to climb pole.
Yeah.
We are going to put a political whipping.
I'll be honest to you, Zingo. I like young Ali Dowden. And I'll tell you what I like about him. He have belly.
Belly.
To go up against Dr. Mitchell, you must respect that.
Yeah.
You must at some level, no matter who you are, you must respect that. I do not respect his approach to what he's doing. I respect what he's doing in that he has put himself forward as a candidate against a man who has never lost the constituency, always winning in the 80s and 90%
like
range there.
Ants going against an
elephant. So you must respect a young man, that young, second time around, going up against those kind of odds, knowing full well he going to lose the deposit. I hope it's not he paid the deposit. But anyhow, he knows that is going to happen. But his approach, and I think he should be taking a lesson. Instead of climbing pole and these sort of things, and making these kind of statements on the platform, that he should focus on a different approach. So I respect the young man. I respect him. But at the same token, he had to respect himself too.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah,
Well,
you
can't-
have to
well,
respect
can't be
yourself
Well,
too.
Can be
well, I
kind
will
and-
say that I have no respect for people who don't respect themselves. And if you see yourself as a challenger to Dr. Mitchell, I have no problem with that. You understand? What I have a problem with is when you, the individual, climbing pole. It's when you, the individual, go in on platform and call Dr. Mitchell a kind of name, like psychopath and devil. Guy, what I would advise the young man, come in the Northwest and tell the people what change you think you can bring.
What contribution?
What contribution you can make, and let us see how you can handle. Let the people hear.
He will earn respect.
Yeah, you know,
He will earn respect if
he will earn respect if you do that.
Take that route. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see somebody's on the overseas line. Good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
How are you guys doing?
Yeah, we're good.
I wanted to call and talk about this morning. You started the program saying that NDC is not comfortable with the leadership of Nazim Buck. As a strong NDC supporter, I would like to say that all the destabilizing agents in the NDC is now in the NNP. Just like KB sitting next to you. We are very confident and very supportive of Nazim Buck. He is one that we know and is confident they're going to bring Grenada forward.
Let me ask you a question.
Secondly,
hold on, caller. Let me ask you a question. Where are you?
Go ahead.
Where are you based?
I'm in Houston, Texas.
You're in where?
Texas.
Houston, Texas.
So have you been here to Grenada? Have you been out in the communities canvassing the NDC supporters to make a statement on their behalf?
Yeah, I visit Grenada twice a year, and yes, I am very in contact with the.
So let me ask you a question.
Um,
Next question then. So what is Adrian Persuader Thomas talking about when he says that people are telling him they would support the NDC but not their political leader? And for him to make that statement,
no, that was some like propaganda to me because
that is not propaganda.
Let him hold the line.
Hold one moment.
Let him
Do
hold the
not
line.
disrespect me and my listeners. We have heard his voice in a meeting in New Hampshire last year making that statement. Do not disrespect us. That's not propaganda. That is Adrian Persuader Thomas making. Hold on.
Let me play for you.
Yeah, I'll be playing it. And secondly, we have Patrick Simmons on to the point making the same statement that when he goes out, the NDC supporters are saying to him they don't like the leader. They like him as an individual. They like the other people who are candidates, but they can. And we have also the deputy leader of the NDC on 2 occasions making the same statement. Do not tell us that's propaganda. That's the truth. Do not disrespect the intelligence of the listeners.
Well, just prove it. All you have to do is prove it.
We've proven that already. You refuse. You've clouded your brain so much that you refuse to understand. Yes, you're clouding your brain. If you call that propaganda, your brain is clouded. That is not, whether I am paid or not is none of your business. You're quite cautious to even answer that question.
I'm an independent.
This is not propaganda. Hello, listen.
Your time is running out, boss.
This is not propaganda. This is the reality of what these individuals had said, and they cannot deny that they said it. We've played it before, and we've played it already.
And so, what
people was saying that they love Sherman Thomas, but we don't trust Peter Davis, so we wouldn't vote for NDC. It's the same thing wrong. Nothing changed.
What I did to destabilize the NDC? You say I'm a destabilizer of the NDC. What I did?
Well, you know what you did. You and Peter tried to take...
No. Again, do not disrespect the intelligence of the listeners to hard talk. You're attempting to disrespect my listeners.
That's what you're attempting to do.
I will... No, listen. We'll discontinue the call. No, we realize you're trying to save your political leader. We understand that, and we could respect that. We understand the desperation. We understand... No. We understand the desperation. We understand the desperation. Yeah, so we understand the necessity for you to call and try to say it's propaganda. But here's what we'll do.
You will be here for the election?
Yes, I'm coming on Sunday.
Welcome, man.
Are you going to be voting?
Are you going to be voting?
I will be voting.
Your political leader said that you can't.
Your political leader said that once you're living overseas, you can't come and vote?
I'm a student. I'm not living overseas.
You just say you're based in Texas. You come here twice a year. Your political leader says that whoever is living abroad cannot vote.
Which
Yeah.
constituency you vote?
Those who have
Give us your name and the
those who have
constituency we go
American
organize.
citizenship.
Which constituency? Which constituency you will be voting?
Why is that relevant?
No, just ask. Just curious.
We want to know.
I'm voting St. Andrews Northeast.
I'll be in St. Patrick's West.
Oh,
Yeah, you'll get
I was up there.
distraction.
I was up there last night in Samaritan, and he did not perform with distinction. He had only 45 people in a joint meeting in front of Samaritan pool.
Not even his family voting for him. Not even his family voting for him.
The Lato machine have more numbers than his. That's why he get.
Boss, you call it wrong time.
All over
Wrong
here,
station.
all over here, some lotto number calling out 0408.
KB, I know you well. You know me as well. You just don't know who you don't
When you come, you again contact
When
me.
you come, we go see. We go
Come and engage Kevin when you come.
Call us.
call us, and we'll pay you for you.
Second point.
Yeah.
The point about the posters removal, I agree with you, Sheldon Scott. I think that if NDC supporters are doing that needs to be called out. But you also have to call out the supporters who are doing the same. Like,
My brother, is this the first time you're listening? Hold on. Is this the first time you're listening to Hard Talk?
Listen, I can't take on the lies too much, but I try to listen now and then to hear both sides.
So you don't generally listen, and you don't listen with an open mind. So you have not heard me say to all sides that it is barbaric and idiotic to be tearing down posters. You have not heard that.
No, I haven't heard that from you.
Well,
You missed that one.
Enjoy the rest of it.
Enjoy the rest of the show.
Okay.
Enjoy the rest of it.
Safe flight back home anyway.
We have another caller.
Good morning and welcome. Good morning.
This is an important message regarding your current credit card account. We have made
I
several...
think I'll get the wrong number here. The guy don't even have a credit card account.
I was not involved.
Desperation is a hell of a thing, you know.
I was not involved in the fight.
We have a call. We have a call online.
Good morning and welcome.
Yeah, you're right.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Yes. I'm calling to just make a few points. I'm money training.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, my dear.
Yes. And my job is like Monday to Friday. I have to report to work by 8:15, but I normally get to work at 7:15 for the latest. Now, there are times I do not get my stipend. I do not make an issue over it. And I would go to work every day. I don't lose a day work, even though sick or not. I report every day for the same time. Now, I know that you all are strengthening the Imani program, but I would like to know, what would you all be doing? Because we've been there for 5 years. Another 5 years is fast approaching. What will be done like for the Imani training?
Let me ask first of all. Hold on. Let me ask first of all. What area are you training in?
I am a secretary.
You're a secretary.
Yes.
So you are doing the NVQ or the CVQ course through the Imani program.
I'm not hearing you so clear, you know.
Are you doing? You remember that I was in charge of that program at a point in time. So let's go down the line. Are you doing an NVQ or CVQ course?
No, none of them.
Are you sure you're an Imani trainee?
Yes, I am, Mr. Scott. You know me very well.
Here's what I would like you to do. Immediately after the program, I'd like you to give me personally a call here at Hard Talk, because as far as I know, persons who are doing secretarial sciences within the Imani would either be doing an NVQ or CVQ course. And if you claim that you're an Imani trainee and that you're not doing a CVQ or NVQ course, I find that very difficult to believe.
Yeah.
Before you put down, I would like to...
Why are you laughing?
Hi?
Why are you laughing?
No, I'm not laughing.
I can hear it in your voice.
No, that's just how I speak. Please don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but go right ahead.
Yes, I went to TAMCC. I did General Office Administration. From there, I was placed at Marif. And then I was placed at a school. I'm actually at the school presently. And our supervisor came, I think it was last month, and he was telling us that we have to do CVQ if you haven't done it before. And it was like, if you already went to TAMCC, because I did other programs apart from going on to college, because I make use of things, right? And we are yet awaiting to get that CVQ done.
So what course did you do at TAMCC? Because that's a
General
CVQ course.
Office Administration.
Yeah, but that's a CVQ course.
Well, then I got mixed up. Sorry. Then again, something I would like to ask.
Okay.
I would like to ask. Y'all give us a chance for 5 years to get ourselves equipped, upgrade ourselves. Persons that have never done anything and you have refused to do that, what would you all do at the ending? Because for me, I believe that opportunities were given to us. We need to make full use of it.
Okay, my dear.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
She concerned about other people.
Yeah. Well, let me say this to you. If a person is doing secretarial sciences and they've attended the TAMCC, they would qualify from there with either the NVQ or CVQ, and they'd be at level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, whatever.
Yeah.
They would have to have completed that course at TAMCC before they are sent to do the training at other places. And so they may get on-the-job training at an agency or so, and then they're placed in another organization. Yes, so they receive that. Now, you can do a CVQ course at level 2. And it may take you a year, it may take you 2 years to do that course according to the volume of work that you have to do and the level that you're doing it. When you've completed that, you may be sent to continue, do another course. And when we launched the Imani program and we spoke, Mr. Kevin Andal, who was then the person in charge or the coordinator of youth and is now the permanent secretary in the ministry, would have said clearly to all Imani trainees that there are various roads that you travel. You enter the Imani program. When you have completed a certain level, you go forward. So in other words, you can go and improve your educational level. You can go to another CVQ level through the program, or you may just leave the program totally and you go to university, as many have done, who are in Cuba and Mexico and all over right now. There's also the other branch where if you have learned, for instance, you went through being a beautician or so, and you decide you want to open your own business, that is another branch you can take into doing your own business. And then there's the other one which may lead to permanent placement. So sometimes you are placed into a position, it could be at a school, could be at anywhere, where there's the opportunity for you after a period of time to gain permanent employment. I personally said to you all, if you're an Imani trainee, I still have my doubts, but I personally said to you all, Sister Emlyn Pear said it to you, Mr. Kevin Andal said it to you, that your performance under the program has nothing to do with the government. It has to do with you, the individual. Because if we send you into a particular place for you to gain training, you have to make an impression.
Yeah.
And if you make a good enough impression, you won't be under the program for long, you know. I could use an example. In the previous Imani program, at one point in time, then the Grenada Bank of Commerce had asked, what is now Republic Bank? I think, no, not Republic Bank, they are now. They are, what they are now? That one down in Granance. But
the one that running away.
Yeah, that's slowly trying to get out. They had asked for several Imani trainees. And the government at the time sent about 5 Imani trainees there. Within a week, they said 2 of these people, we don't want them. And the other 3, they hired them permanently. They're still working within the banking sector. That has nothing to do with the government. That has nothing to do with the program outside of conceptualizing and organizing the opportunity. It is up to the individual and the application and performance, whether or not they gain permanent employment, whether they have the drive and determination to open their own business, or whether they have the drive and determination to improve their academic level. That's not government. That's you, the individual. And we as a people need to start taking our own personal responsibility for how we develop ourselves. Yeah?
But they want us to take care of the Imani for life.
Well, it seems as though some of them want that. We have a caller.
Good morning and welcome.
Oh, good morning to the Spice Land. Good morning, Sheldon Devon. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, you're making them guys hard jump, man. The grass is green, man. They can't see that. The grass is green.
The noose.
The noose.
You hear they talking about plane load coming down, but they miss come still. Tell them it's a whole fleet. They miss come, it's a fleet.
Man, you look at the big them people and them go and say that we have plane load. We ain't know about that.
We have enough here. We have enough here.
I know all you know about that. Tell them it's a fleet. They miss come. Anyhow, Sheldon, I want you to throw something for me, man, in the Northeast. We will be having a tailgate breakfast on Sunday morning by Teacher Miller in the corner of Melrose for the Northeast, St. George's Northeast. We'll be having a tailgate breakfast
Sunday
on
morning?
Sunday morning.
What time?
I want you to put out that for me out there.
Okay, my
What time is
brother.
it?
Everyone I invited, Sheldon. You invited, Devon invited. From there, we heading straight to Sea Moons.
All right.
Straight up. From there, we heading, we dress in one time. From breakfast, in the convoy, we coming up. Motorcade one time.
All right.
So I want you to throw it out for me, Sheldon.
Okay, my brother.
All right, Roland?
Yeah.
Okay.
And all you don't make them guys and them hard jump too much. Oh, Lord, Sheldon, I know.
Yeah. Let it hard
I
jump.
know you, Sheldon, I know.
Well, the symbol is the heart.
The symbol is the heart.
So
tell
they
them
jump.
about it. Like they say, we
They
have
were
to
ready.
hide it all in house.
They were ready for the date.
Like a Grenadian can't have friends again at all. You can't have friends. Everybody was there. Listen, is our one Grenadian or something at the soil? Christmas time, we was in the man's house. So when Nazim say he have evidence, he could come and see. He's a local man. When we come down, we hang out there. So I know what he's talking about when he say that.
Right.
Don't worry, my brother, don't worry.
The man don't have to pick up cutlass for people to know if I'm
Don't worry
going
about them. Don't worry about them. Them one, you know the ropes. KB, you know the ropes already. Propaganda destabilization.
Yeah.
We have to be them back. We have to know how to combat them.
Well, that's what we're here for. Yeah. That's what we're here for.
That's it, man. And I like how you just put it on them, Sheldon. I like how you just put it on them.
All right.
Give them, man. Give them when you hot smoke. And they ain't see the best of it yet, you know. From Sunday, they go hot start sleeping. Sunday.
I want that 2 minutes on the stage Sunday. That's what I want. I want that 2
Well,
minutes.
listen.
I'm begging from
Well, I
I'm going to apply for I'm going to apply for a 2 minutes here.
2
Me and
minutes.
Devon, we want 2 minutes.
2
I'm going to
minutes.
apply for a
All we want.
The
2 minutes.
place will never be the same.
Yo, so Devon,
Yes, boss.
I don't worry, man. When I reach young, I will link up with you guys, man. Y'all can come up in the breakfast and everything, and you know, come and show all your
Yeah,
face,
what time
man.
is the
Y'all
breakfast?
welcome.
What time the breakfast start?
It starts at 8 o'clock in the
8
morning
o'clock in the morning.
That's good
to
time.
11 o'clock
Right, 8 to 11.
Sunday morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
You
my
will get
brother.
more information. If you want more information, you go call to Buyers Arm office.
Okay.
And ask for Miss James, and she will give you more information.
All right.
Okay.
All right, my brother.
All right, then, bro.
Yeah.
All right, bro. See you guys soon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Northeast
I
and
see
all.
my
Northeast.
good friend Brenda
Northeast.
made a suggestion there. She's saying
And that
strengthen-
the gratitude. You see, when you
Yeah.
perform,
Ease.
notice have gratitude. You understand? They realize the former MP
Yeah.
did not perform with distinction, and here the government came, they performed with distinction. That is why the vote in the upsurge in notice is a response to the government performance.
we have a-
Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning to all in the studio. Wait, no, that last caller concerned the money. The only that I don't know, questions I made to ask, but I found that to be fake. I don't know. I might be wrong.
well, we could be wrong. We
You
never
could
know.
be wrong, but they probably
be right
send you could be
I
right
might be
too.
wrong.
All right.
Because-
Another thing, the debate last night, I wasn't home to listen. Did anybody listen and could give me some information about it?
I was busy out campaigning.
Huh?
I was busy outside
Oh,
campaigning.
you were outside campaigning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I found that to
don't
be
sit
more
down.
important.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Because I listened to one last week, and I find our school trending, even the debate that was in the schools, I find there was more beating than whatever they had to say that was debate.
All right, caller.
All right, take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Just to say, in relation to the caller before, and my good friend Brenda is making a statement that she's saying she recommends strengthening the Imani supervisors. I would always say that is important. One of the major failures of the program that the NDC had in place was the problem of supervision of trainees.
Yeah.
Trainees will not be calling constantly with problems, would not be calling constantly that, look, I have not received my stipend or my full stipend, or etc., if their supervisors keep in touch with them. And that definitely has already been taken on board as one of the areas already being strengthened in the... We don't wait until you win to go and deal with a problem. Meanwhile, you have people that have the problems. You deal with it from before. So that is indeed one of the issues that are already being addressed under the Imani program. That issue of supervision, because sometimes the problem is not the trainee. Sometimes it's where they are placed.
Yeah.
You realize you send one trainee, they have a problem. Two trainees, they have a problem. Why are you sending a third?
Yeah.
Because it seems as though the problem is not necessarily the trainees, but where you are placing them.
The environment.
Yeah, the environment.
So definitely, the issue of supervision is an issue that is being looked at. All right? Nice. Okay. Yes, 4407377. KB, what's the latest you're picking up in St. Andrew, man?
Good. Perfect. Everybody is.
I find you're saying
good, low.
Yeah.
See what that man. We never had any doubt in St. Andrews.
Never doubt. Everything.
When I was start repeating that, you know, my concern, was always St. David's and Carriacou, and I'm really upbeat. The report coming from St. David's now, it's really, encouraging. The report coming from Carriacou now encouraging. So it's just a matter of time. As I said before, I doubt any one of the gladiators will fall. The fifth gladiator, I don't think anyone will fall.
I think St. David's has taken a stance for St. David's.
For St. David's.
I think the people of St. David's.
We ain't playing that up there.
Because all the while, the talk was St. David.
St. David.
A
different talk now. Yes.
I think St. David's decide.
Yeah.
They don't want to stay out of that.
No.
Out of that thing.
They want to be part of history.
They don't want to stay out of that history.
No, they haven't. Everybody wants to be part of history.
Event, March 13 will be a historic event here.
Yeah.
I'm not bragging. I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think St. David's don't want to get left out of that thing.
Are we ready?
Tell me, Zingo, you experience a lot of rally.
Yeah.
During the revolution, even during Gary time, during NNP and this time. Have you seen anything like that at Sunday?
No, never. Never.
Never?
Sunday. That's the biggest rally I ever see. I mean, I surprised to wake up Monday morning and go on social media and see the drone man, the M-word man, the drone man taking shots when people leave Tantine and putting it up and saying that is the real crowd. What drugs he on?
You know what was nice? When I was coming down a pass, Progress Park, and they cut the pass there in half, because they
Yeah, but we know that what they must do.
Listen, I can't.
They cut the playing field in half,
KB, what I can't believe, after they were exposed of what they did in 4, I never thought they would have cut Progress Park in half also. I never thought they would have gone and repeat that. I say, well, the men would have said, well, okay, well, they catch us the first time. Let we use the field. and let we spread on the people.
Yeah.
Will the men cut the field in half again?
Cut the field in half again. Well, where they going Sunday coming? In Tantine?
I am not sure where they're going.
Nobody knows.
Well,
they
cut it in half.
What I do know is that they had intended to do several zonal meetings and motorcades on Saturday, and that a notice was sent out to each of the constituencies to cancel that. Do not do any of these zonal meetings and so on, and focus all resources to Sunday.
Well, here what happened is, but as you see, right now,
they're looking to do a national motorcade.
Everybody for themselves now, because now is desperate time. So before, they used to have joint meeting to get the crowd. Now, it's different. Everyone who have meeting now is a failure. Now. They cannot get the crowd. Just less than 100 people in the meeting now. So you can see anything. If them pockets meeting, them village meeting they're talking about. But the NNP, wherever they go, is small mini rally. Yeah. Our people is really upbeat and you could feel the momentum.
Our people ready.
And the swing, we're really ready.
Our people on election day,
they'll vote.
Not gonna sit on the block like 08.
No complacency.
Our people not gonna get complacent.
No.
I think Sheldon and Devon, I think you guys have to take some kudos for that.
Yeah.
For every day.
Yeah.
Some people don't understand what a genuine reminder does. Every day, you all put it in the minds of the people.
Get up and go.
Get up and vote.
Yeah.
Don't sit down and talk, boy, we win already.
No, you don't have that in
LNP.
Everybody want to win bigger. Every polling station want to win bigger.
But let me say this to different people. Like for instance, St. David won by what? 800, 900 the last time.
850.
Why would you want to win by that margin again when they could win by 1,000 plus?
Miss Pierre win by 850.
And we know that we wanted to win by over 1,000.
Yeah.
Because when we shovel in on next week Tuesday night, when we shovel in and we put it down in the grave,
yes,
we ain't want no digits sticking out.
Deeper.
We ain't want no kind of little elbow above the ground and you have to kind of pat it down. When we put them down, we want to make sure they're well down, deeper than before.
The South win
no
by
political
1,300.
zombie to drag out and no grave this time.
The South was 1,300. How much do you think it is you believe this time?
Oh gosh. I think you're going to increase it by a couple hundred well. Couple hundred well.
Definitely, because
you see,
especially...
I don't want to go into the analysis too deeply right now. I don't want to go into the analysis too deeply right now.
The drone man didn't get that shot.
No, you didn't see that one. The drone man didn't see that shot.
Nah. At that time, the drone was on the throne.
Yeah,
he was on the toilet. He didn't get
But I have seen a bit after I thought all the motorcade that was already in. Only realized St. David's and the South
didn't come yet.
Yeah. When I said St. David's and I look out, I have never seen people, congregate in one area. It's like Zulu, they come out with in such large numbers and was a constant flow of human tide. I get goosebumps.
And remember, that is with a lot of people who usually stay off until the last round.
Yeah.
So you could understand what Pearls is going to look like on Sunday.
We have to call.
And I'll tell you, I have a very good friend. Me and her always correspond on Facebook and that sort of thing. And there I saw in a picture with the political leader of the NDC on Sunday, simply because the meeting was in the area there, and they throw out t-shirt left, right, and center. She grab a t-shirt, she go. Even take a picture of the political leader of the NDC.
Do you think
but is the same person now saying all roads lead to Pearls on Sunday?
But first time we run out of jersey, we run out of jerseys.
Yeah. So I say anybody that has 2 jerseys, give up one.
Give up one.
Give up one. Give up one. One you need. Give up one.
This thing come like Adidas and Nike now, you can't hang it on the line.
I had 5. Up to now, I do have to keep moving because I had 5, I gave away all 5. I get some more, I give it away. And every time I give it away. So I don't have any.
So how come I have t-shirt?
I don't know how you have, because every time I have, I give away.
Sheldon, I think that's a good call, Sheldon. Those who have 2 t-shirts,
give
it away, because you have some that just don't have any t-shirts.
Some people might have 2 because they come by you, they say they don't have, you give them 1. They go by somebody else, they say I don't have, they get 1. Somebody might pass and say, hey, I drop in a t-shirt for you, and they leave it with them and they take it.
Yeah.
So if it's a situation like that, give some.
Share it. If you have 2 bands, give 1.
If somebody want it, you share it.
Share it.
What a man say, but even the wave and all in the car is voting for Peter.
Because the wave and them watching the sign that it's up at a certain place there and they're trying to wash it down.
Of course.
Them wave and them aiming, but each time they hit, boy, it's like
you see, because
aiming, boy, they want to take it.
They be careful because they don't want to think. But they go take it.
Because sometimes they see a vehicle passing, they say, I don't want to wet them people.
I don't want to wet them people.
The Prime Minister said he never feels so happy in his entire life, but PM, not you alone that happy. All of us, the whole country, NNPI is happy. And we're asking every one of our supporters, stay away from confrontation, stay away from violence, because every vote is important election day.
You guys know I've been around the boss for a long while, and trust me, he's really happy. And
comfortable.
And the people of Northwest, good morning to you. We all know we getting up early as usual and go and vote.
Between anything go, you know what make the Prime Minister happy? The people show gratitude.
Yeah.
He realized the people appreciate the work and the sacrifice he made. I think that is what makes.
But let me say this. All I don't think we just sit down in the Northwest. We just work, and we don't have to work because the balls don't play when you're not working.
Tell me something. Are you still campaign up there? Are you not campaign?
We don't. I'm going to say this here. We don't make joke with that. We still just go house to house
and ask for vote still.
We still just campaign. We still just put up sign. I have a set of poster in my van right now to go and put up.
I wonder if that is necessary.
You could say what? We can't sit down.
No, you can't sit down.
We don't take anything for granted.
I support that, but however though, I don't want you all to be too abusive to the young man.
Let me say this.
I mean, he love to climb pole and thing, but
let me say
you have to, you know.
Let me say this, Devon. It's the first election I'm involved in, and I see it has about 8 different candidates fighting to bring in the biggest victory. It's the first time I see that. Delma fighting to fighting,
Miss Pierre
fighting to bring in the bigger victory. He look at Peter David in Tongo Lego are licking that
boy.
This I'm telling you, from that
one,
all indications. That one look at that one will look
tsunami.
But you had to be very careful how you treat women, eh? You had to be very careful.
Remember, Dr. Michela had to deal with one woman twice.
Yes, boy.
And we didn't waste time to rest it on her.
Yeah. Folks, we have in fact, let me take the oversea line priority.
Good morning and welcome.
Yes, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, 2 points. The Mr. Buck was talking about people coming in to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there are evidence right now that there are a number of NDC folks from Canada. They are here to vote because I spoke to them and they told me they come to vote. So I think he should shut up when it comes to that. The next thing, I don't know how much people are following that. It seems as though the NDC is campaigning, and what they are saying that they're going to take Grenada back to where Grenada comes from. Deficit. We had $18 million deficit. Let me tell you why. Mr. Nazim Bok said he's going to cut taxes, so therefore he's going to reduce income into the treasury. Yet for all, they're going to increase Imani pay from 9,006 to 10,000. Then they're going to pay the fee for all national college students. So in other words, what the money government is giving national college now, they have to continue to give national college, and then they have to pay all the tuition fees. So you're reducing income and you're increasing expenses. Very soon.
Nazimatics.
You're going to end up in bankruptcy.
Yeah, that's Nazimatics.
They have been preaching that. That's the NDC message. So I don't know how much people that is resonating with. The NDC is bringing us back to where we come from. As a matter of fact, Nazim Bok loved this thing because he gave us a budget when he was in his last budget.
And
he couldn't account for $80-something million this year that he's going to bring into the country as part of the budget. And he said he's going to tell us that later. Later has gone more than 5 years and he never said a word.
You're correct.
So he loves this deficit thing. So I just want to alert everybody. The NDC is campaigning to bring Grenada back where they came from. Additionally, the little surplus that Kit Mitchell has accumulated.
It'll evaporate.
The candidate for the Tongue of St. George, the NDC candidate, said within 2 months she's going to create 400 jobs in the tongue. That money must come from the surplus. It can't come from anywhere else because most of the money Grenada collects, it spends to keep the government running. So the little surplus that's there, they go use that up. We heading back directly where we came from. That's my contribution.
All right,
thank you.
Let me ask this: if you're going to create 400 jobs in the town, let's you say that each of those jobs you're going to have give the people $1,000 each for that 400 jobs. So you're talking $400,000 a month. That's nearly $500,000
additional to what is being.
Yeah,
well, I can understand. I mean, a lot of parents are listening to what they have to say about the free tuition for TAMC students. Right? Stop fooling the people. Stop fooling the nation's parents and children. You know you can't do it. You know that. Where would you get the money from?
Zingo, somebody asking a question. They say, where Ingrid Jackson?
Dr. Mitchell said I ain't to hiding. She's my friend. She's my good friend. So I don't want to say too much.
I think he sent her back and study.
Depot is applying for the job.
No.
Applying.
Listen me.
Well,
let me say this.
If a certain hairdresser could apply, I mean, anyhow.
Let me say this. The NDC, right, has just it's just a party that just don't like people. Because this same lady that they're asking about, Ingrid Jackson, she put out her heart and soul to run against Dr. Mitchell.
They treat her like
and
dirt.
when the NDC won in 2008, she gave her all in the campaign, and they treated her badly.
They treated her. I know that. I could testify to that.
And I'm saying this to say, right? This is the reason why we are forever grateful to Dr. Mitchell.
Gratitude.
You know, the people of Northwest.
Gratitude.
We are forever grateful.
Yeah.
Gratitude. I know what I'm saying.
Gratitude.
I know how our numbers look like.
Yeah.
I heard the guy say he need 13 more votes to beat Dr. Mitchell.
Yeah, kudos to him.
I think kudos to him. I think he probably meant 13 more votes to save
well, here's how we'll help him, Zingo. And here's how we'll help him. If you listen to Dr. Mitchell yesterday, you'd realize that it's 40-something or 50-something people who are supposed to be registered in your constituency, St. George Northwest, have somehow found themselves in other constituencies.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we'll help him by sending them back to save deposit.
Yeah, like with the 45, like the 45 that went over New Hampshire.
By Toby.
Yeah,
so you see what I'm saying?
Because they ain't going and vote for Toby.
You see what I'm saying? You see, this is exactly what I'm saying. This guy and then they just don't like people.
They don't.
Because if you so love this little guy, right? Why are you encouraging the little guy? When the little guy go wrong on canvas and he know who he's why are you taking a little pocket from him to vote for you in the Northeast? And I'm saying it in the Northeast. Sheldon, you know over the years, you know where Northwest people canvas. We either walk St. George Northeast or South St. George. And we know that they are taking the little pocket and putting Northeast, but that wouldn't stop the political leader from getting it. He's going to get it.
You're talking about the bordering constituency?
Yes.
From Willis area?
Yes.
Okay, so they strengthen the Nazim side?
They strengthen Nazim side.
Depot behavior, depot behavior.
I find these people on their live giving a lot of trouble today.
It's a good thing I doesn't give trouble so on the live.
Let's go into the lines.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. How you doing, brother, man?
Not too bad, man.
Sheldon, you know, that tape where Mr. Buck were on, I think on GBN when they were interviewing him and talking about his taxes, and he was saying that once the government pay him, when they pay him, he's going to pay his taxes. You still have that tape, right?
Yeah, that is somewhere in the system. I can find it.
Good. And here, you hear what I want, right? Hear what I want. Because I want the closing stage to be like that. I want some personal stories with Grenadians and an ad, you know, based on the economic policy of Nazim Buck, what they have lost. You know, so different people coming on the day and telling you they lost their house, they lost their car, they lost their this, they lost their that. Because there are a lot of people in this country who have a lot of personal stories. I heard this guy on GBN when they were interviewing him at the rally, and he said he being a farmer, he used to use his van to go and do his farming, and he lost his van under the NDC. And you were able to buy back one right now under the NNP. Yeah. And that's a wonderful story.
What's about the truckmen?
And there are a lot of people like that in this country here who are paying mortgage by late payment of Nazimburg. They lost their properties. So I'm saying that there's a lot of personal stories here we could go back on and bring forward so the nation can understand that we need to keep this man out of this office of Prime Minister. Have a nice day, brother.
Yeah, he's correct, eh? Yeah. I tell you, a lot of small business couldn't pay the electricity bill. Right now, when you look at the bank book, they see an increase, you know, in their income.
We have another caller. Let's take the call quickly.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, guys.
Hey, sir.
Yeah, how things?
Good.
Yeah, we're down the road. Listen, KB, what going on?
Fine.
We have, and I think you all heard that, the former candidate for St. Mark, Grand three-time, Henry Daly. He's on our platform now. He has decided to join the NNP, and he have a lot to let the people know, in fact, how NDC treated him while he was a candidate, and even after.
Yeah.
And so, but I just want to say we have been having very successful meetings in St. Mark's Road. Basically, St. Mark's is like St. George Northwest.
Yeah.
We don't really have competition of it. You know, we have a man, nobody knows him. And so he'll get his worst beaten in his life come next Tuesday. As a matter of fact, if he get 100 votes, I'll be able to get a lot. Which I don't even think he will get so much. But still, even the benefit of it all.
Let me ask you a question, bro. Where is Mr. Denot Modest?
Say it again?
Denot Modest, where is he?
The one who ran last time.
They're not gone in hiding too.
Oh boy.
Dr. Modest, Dr. Clarence Modest put him away permanently. According to a young guy that can say permanently, say peppermentally. So he has not been actively campaigning with them. I understand they brought some t-shirts for him there and he asked them to come and take it back, put it in the veranda. I don't think he wants anything to do with them. He's a very ungrateful party. I mean, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
We can't stress how much these people are ungrateful. And you know what? What amazes me most, Scott and Devon, when NDC came in office in 2008, workers who was on contract getting gratuity after the 1 year or 2 years, the NDC removed it.
They take it out.
Take it out.
They're worthless.
You know what they say? They cannot afford to pay contract workers gratuity. The country cannot afford that, and they removed it. What I see back in the, I see they have a pamphlet going around that they're gonna make permanent contract workers, and I think give them what money or gratuity or something. I had to laugh at that. I mean, you'd go to that length. So, this contract, this gratuity should have been in effect now, had not been for the NDC government under Nazim. And when I tell you these people, them hypocrite, believe these people. Hear what I'm saying? They're going to give the public servants the $1,500 one-off payment. This is when they was advising, secretly, I should say, advising the union not to accept and members not to accept the money because it was keeping not giving it. Right? They was against the structural adjustment program. They was against the taxes. You remember they said there is 32 new taxes now?
Mm-hmm.
And so you're saying you will remove taxes, you will give everything free, and you will give the one-off payment. Everybody asking where the money coming from. Now, I didn't expect to kick the feet down the road and expect the fool to pick it up again.
Yeah.
Not this time around. And I could tell you, I look up, I look down, I look in my pocket, I look on the side of me, I look below my foot, I can't see them winning one seat. And I've been saying that since last year. People have been doubting me. I said, no, they're going to win one. This man, they're working for nothing.
Well, let me tell you something, though. But, my brother, let me tell you this, though. If we take that approach that they can't win any seat, so they can't win ours, and we slip up on election day, believe me, they gain more than one.
No.
They gain no, listen, if we take the approach that they can't win none, and we fall asleep on them between now and not even 5, now and even when the ballots counting, if we fall asleep anytime between now and when those ballots finish count and the final announcement is given, if we only blink anytime between now and then, they're taking a few seats from us.
No. We've been very vigilant. I mean,
so we have to be vigilant.
We have to be vigilant.
You know they could take St. Mark. They could take St. Mark, you know.
No, man.
No, I'm telling you, if you all fall asleep up there and just decide we win and watch, all you go and cook today and get ready for later and wait.
Every constituency is a representation of St. Mark's right now, based on how the thing looking. But you're right. We can't be complacent.
We can't be complacent.
We have to be vigilant. We have to. As a matter of fact, that is why we start picking up people from since 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
we picking up people from since 4 o'clock, and we have a plan. And I know another constituencies have been speaking about the same. You know, making sure they pick up the people early. So by 12 o'clock we celebrate it. And by 10 o'clock, most of the people should finish voting early, you know.
No, I don't want to celebrate too early, you know. Because when we celebrating too early, that means we ain't going and pick up the last little one here, the little one here, and take
we want all the vote.
Really?
All.
No celebration until all the votes are inside. None.
Let me tell you something. In St. Mark's, what we do, we come out with 18 and 19 buses there to Santi. And we had a big bus. When all the buses go back and scrape from my
that's how we have to do it.
Yeah. And we taking go up, we scraping. So we don't even know what
boss, if we don't have enough bus, we taking chalk.
Yeah. Well,
we needy and we greedy. We taking all.
People asking about how much trucks, people asking about this, people don't care how they reach.
Yeah, we need the vote and we greedy for it.
We greedy for it.
It's so exciting to see the energy.
Yeah.
But I just want to say quickly before I go, we'll be having a meeting in Maran tomorrow night. Mr. Henry Dialli, of course, will be on the platform. And we'll be also having a meeting, our last meeting on Saturday. But most importantly, on Friday, we'll be having a cook-up and lime in the Union playing field. So there's a new place that Dr. Moses is constructing for the people of Samaritan and Union with a resource center. And so we'll be giving them a tour there. And the highlight of that activity is that we'll be having a NNP dress competition. So you know all these girls, the ladies and men who make it nice clothes with the NNP t-shirt.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
I like that one. I like that one.
Competition.
I like that one.
And then we'll be having second and third
Shamara Malaika taking that.
The first prize for a nice 2 days in a nice luxurious hotel. So we have to encourage those ladies to make sure they have a companion.
Yes, I.
So we don't have that. But what we have noticed is that people have been very creative with the NNP t-shirt.
Yes.
And making a lot of nice dress and rompers and all this and this. So we're going to have a nice competition for them on Friday night.
I like this one. I like that one. We're
cooking about 5 or 6 pot of food.
Yes.
We're having some good time up there. And I mean, you know, the thing is that our workers work really hard.
Yeah.
And they say our workers no play.
Yeah.
You know, it's not good. So we're using that Friday to relax, you know, socialize, and, you know, and so meeting community and so, and then going into the weekend, into Monday and Tuesday, we're ready for them. We're ready.
All right, my brother.
We can't sit down.
We can't sit down.
All right, guys.
Keep moving.
Take care.
And this is something that I continually want to caution all NNP supporters about. We win nothing until the supervisor of election affix his signature and give the official results. As such, yes, we want to ensure that we go out early and vote. But after we vote, we have a responsibility to find every other NNPite and make sure they vote too. But not just the NNPites, you know. People who you maybe never seen a rally, they never come out to anything, they can't vote. You know that they are supportive of the new National Party. Although you might not see them wearing a t-shirt and going out to activities. Get them, bring them, make sure that they vote too on election day. So by the time 5 o'clock, you shouldn't be wondering if this one vote, if that one vote. You should be sure that, watch, we safe. We bring in this amount. Yeah? Because the moment you slip, believe me, that's it.
I think, like NNPite, they want to teach NDC a lesson. That is why they will go out and vote. They want to get back at them for the constant bashing and humiliation and demonizing over the 4.5 years. I think that contributes a lot to the kind of passion and energy witness right now.
Yes.
And let me say this, right? It is important that we go out early and vote. But Sheldon, it is also important for every constituency. You hear, we don't want to be celebrating early. I will tell you why. The reason why we don't want to be celebrating early, after we jog out all them people to vote, we want to ensure that we secure those ballots.
Yeah.
We have to ensure.
You sleep there, you're gone.
Each constituency have to ensure that when that box is being carried away,
well protected,
they have the proper protection.
Yeah, we don't.
And they follow the box.
Yeah, and we don't want
stick up in you all. We have a call on the overseas.
Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Morning.
I really appreciate listening to you guys, but
I know that voice.
I just have a little concern. I just want to express that. The NDC crowd in the Paradise area seems to have been a very large one. And what I notice is that since after they released the manifesto and they talk about national college students not paying tuition, I find the crowd increase. I don't know if that is resonating with people. So from the time the campaign starts, I have been observing a constant increase in the NDC. The NNP crowd seems to have reached stagnation. It reached a certain point. It's not growing anymore. But NDC is growing.
My friend,
the length of time that they have to campaign seems to be doing them very well.
Let me ask a question though. How are you viewing that crowd from where?
Say that again.
How are you viewing that crowd from where? On Facebook?
From the Progress Park.
Yeah.
Because I went there.
You went there?
Yeah, I went and see what's going on.
But did you also go to Tantine and saw what was going on down
did.
there?
I compared the Tantine crowd last year with this year.
No. You can't
much
compare.
Less, but I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about.
No, well, what I'm saying is this. What I'm saying is this.
But it kind of seems as though it's reached a certain point. You know.
What I'm saying is simply this.
Maximum sort of. That's what it appears.
Okay.
But the concern is the NDC crowd is growing. I don't know if you're looking at that.
Okay, my brother.
I want to address that. There is no doubt.
KB, go ahead.
There is no doubt. There is an upsurge in the NDC crowd. The NDC people just start coming out. But that is the base. That is the base. They just
I
start
don't know if
coming
you
out.
are right with that one. You may, maybe some that may be part of it, but I don't know if that is all.
I'll tell you what happened. I've been observing. There is no doubt. The NDC people just start coming out. But that is the base. But it's no way compared to the NNP crowd. No way. I visit most both of the meeting, all the meetings, NNP meeting and NDC meeting. And you could see the NDC was smart enough to convince people like you that the crowd big, that's why they cut the past year in half.
They don't convince me, it's just a concern, they're growing.
But that is the crowd.
No, but we have said on this program before that as election comes closer, don't expect to see small crowds.
No.
Their base will come out. There are people that only come out for the final two rallies.
There are people that support them.
Of course, and it's not the second largest party, you know.
Yeah,
and don't forget that they get 20,000 vote last election, you know. NDC is not so much a weak party, you know. They get 20, they have their followers, but they're just not as strong as the NNP.
And if
a lot of the base is in the house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right now.
Well,
and I think that's the main thing to look at the makeup of both crowds. You're not seeing people who were in the NNP appearing in the NDC. What you're seeing is a lot, and I'm talking about whole families that were supportive of the NDC. And you're now seeing them as T-shirt wearing, up front, canvassing, and speaking on behalf of the New National Party.
Well, the NDC crowd, yes, it was concentrated at a certain point, whereas the NNP crowd was scattered and spread out much more. It might be a little bit difficult to compare, but the real issue is that their crowd is growing. NDC crowd is growing for sure.
But numbers are numbers. Numbers are numbers. I don't understand when you say it might be difficult to compare. If you have, let's say for example,
concentrated.
You said
like everybody in a certain area. So
you said you were at Progress Park, right?
The NDC crowd, the NNP crowd was very much scattered. They all through the pasture, they all by the road and all kind of thing. I mean, they were scattered.
Right, but you said you was at Progress Park.
Them everybody together, it may surpass the NDC crowd. That's the point I'm making.
Wait, hold
on a second. Because one is dispersed and spread out, and the other one was concentrated.
Caller, but I just realized.
Can't make no direct comparison actually.
Okay, all right. But caller, one question before you go ahead. You're comparing the New National Party crowd in Paradise in the Cocoa before the election date is announced with an NDC crowd 2 weeks before an election in Paradise in Progress Park?
No, I can't talk about this. I can't talk about.
Well, I'm trying to figure out the comparison you're making, because to me it's not clicking. But anyway, enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, you too.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, because Skeeter was actually the very first launch. The very first launch was Skeeter.
That was a good kickoff.
Yeah, and that was inside Paradise Cocoa.
Yeah.
And that was massive.
Yeah.
But then you come out from there and you've seen, in fact, here's what. We ain't going to even discuss the crowd, you know. We're going to show you.
Yeah, let me show you.
NNPites, you hear what they're saying out there.
Yeah.
Lovers of freedom and development, you're hearing what they are saying out there. Yeah? So we have a point to prove on Sunday. As said, we have a point to prove on Sunday. Because you know what will be taken off from the Pearls Airstrip? The next 5 years of the new National Party will be taking off from the Pearls Airstrip on Sunday. And you don't want to be left behind. I don't mind if you're in a wheelchair, we're finding space for you. Come on out on Sunday.
Sheldon,
yeah? We're finding space for you.
You talk about the next 5 years. I see a certain party put out a document for the next 5 years. And them men, they didn't have nothing in the document for tourism. I wonder if they know that tourism is the leading sector in the economy.
My brother, that says a lot to the couple hundred, maybe thousands of Grenadians that work in that sector. Those who do the beds at like the Spice Island or down at the Sandals and so. The taxi men who get the job to shuttle the people from the airport to there, or who on the same day visitors with the cruise ships and so.
Yeah.
It says a lot to the guys who working down at the cruise ship port right now, listening hard talk right down there with the taxi association. Yeah? Morning, Mr. Regis. Terry. Terry alone. Never boy. Terry Regis alone. Never boy.
Scotty, I just want to zero in on.
But it's something important, yeah.
I want to zero in on St. George's Northeast a little while.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I haven't seen Nazim facial expression, he's how he looks, recently, what really going on with Naz and them? What are you picking up, in that constituency?
What I've heard is that the NDC is passing around, leaving a little $200 in different bars in strategic areas. That they're aiming at strategic areas like Willis, New Hampshire. And they've been going around and leaving a little drink, even buying a case of drinks and leave in different bars. The same thing that they said that they would not campaign and do.
That?
Yeah. So, right, they're going around to different areas and they're doing that kind of thing. Because I mean, a man called from town, he said, listen, drinks sharing up there, we want to share down in town too. Tell the man it's our voters for by he down in town Lyman. So, I've heard that sort of thing. What I can say about that constituency is that I know that the people of that constituency have been well served by the present MP. There's no if, what, or but about it. He has done more in his period as the Member of Parliament for St. George Northeast than Nazim Burke in 2 terms, one of them as Minister of Finance.
Who had the national post.
Right? Minister of Finance. He still did not do as much as Tobias Clement has done. You vote a person in to serve the constituency. And that is what the people of Northeast did. And they got exactly what they voted for. A person who has served and will continue to serve the constituency.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
You understand?
Gratitude.
Because you have people, they talk about SGU. When they're mentioning SGU and Tobias Clement, why don't they mention how many young people are at SGU now? Because of Tobias Clement.
Yeah. Man, brother,
if you want to talk SGU, let me talk SGU.
What was exciting when he said he went to Dr. Mitchell and he asked for finance to build a bridge. Dr. Mitchell said, Toby, we don't shut the money. He said, no, I find it for myself. And he went with a business community, as a business community, with his personal, finance and build a bridge. I mean, kudos to you.
And that bridge you're talking about, link to strategic areas, you're talking about really really particular and Lamode, right? So 2 strategic agricultural based villages, and Toby did it for himself.
They say Toby is the only minister what does he use up all that is allocated to him and go and beg from him.
That's what you get for to do it.
People,
but he looks so simple.
He looks so simple. He's not a simple guy. The people of Northeast has been served by this gentleman.
A person just messaged me.
And he had to pick up a cutlass and play chopping bush and tell people now that
he under respect.
Yeah.
A good friend of mine just messaged me saying, Nas get my friend daughter a tablet and told them NNP only talking, he's a man of action.
tablet.
A tablet, a Panadol?
I know,
You hear that now?
maybe a Panadol.
You hear that? A Panadol, perhaps.
Remember,
Folks.
that's the recipe, man. We had the Panadol and the rub.
The Panadol and the shot around.
I'll forget.
But folks, we're gonna have to play a lot of clips tomorrow because, especially for the caller that called from the U.S., Texas, or wherever, and is claiming certain things, we're gonna play the clips to them. At the end of today's program, though, we will be rebroadcasting Prime Minister's press conference yesterday because we did have some audio issues yesterday.
Right.
So we have the clear version for you to listen and follow from the word go right down. We will be replaying that for you at the end of the program today. Fellas, we're going for our next few minutes.
Yeah,
I know some of you all have to run and things.
Yeah, we had to run. Just want to advise our NNPites, stay away from trouble. And Sunday coming, just stay home.
Yeah.
We want as much of our supporters to be and Sunday coming, and cheer on your candidate.
Yeah.
Give them the kind of applause, the kind of. I like how MC Stephen does it. Whenever she appears on the platform, she got her people together to give her that cheer on.
I don't know, she made a mistake and she don't mention Southeast.
No, I don't want.
She almost forget to.
I don't want when they call the Prime Minister, you get one clap. So no, when they call Sister Emily Pay, you get everybody clapping. When they call Mr. Steele, you want everybody. These things does add to the excitement and motivate the parliamentarian. When you introduce them, we want the noise. We want the deafening noise.
And we do have some surprises on Sunday that we haven't talked about yet. But we do have some surprises for Sunday.
Yeah. Sunday. You ever see something going up a hill and lean? That all happened in Paul Sunday, You're going up to the north, but the north dipping in the south,
Well, what aircraft they're taking out Sunday?
I wonder.
What aircraft taking out in Paul Sunday?
But you remember right after the invasion, you had one of the biggest aircraft in the whole of land on the strip. Well, you had to take about 3 of that.
Okay. So we have no national motorcade, eh?
We do have a national mode. We have 2 actually. And thanks for reminding us, KB, because on Saturday, the youth arm is going to be doing a national motorcade on Saturday. So all of the youth out there, you can contact your local representatives. They will give you the information. So the youth arm, they've mobilized. They're having a national motorcade on Saturday. That's just the youth arm.
Starting where and end where?
That information we don't have. I believe the president of the youth arm will be in with us for a few minutes tomorrow. He'll give us a few minutes of his time tomorrow and let us know some more information about it. And then on Sunday, we're going to have various motorcades.
Okay.
So you understand that St. George's are going to be congregating at one point and then coming up. And then you have the West Coast, and so they're going to be congregating at next point and coming across.
Okay.
So you're going to be having St. David and so on joining up, and everybody coming up. So it's going to be various motorcades.
Covering the whole island.
Throughout the island.
So where NDC passing? Where NDC passing?
I know them thing and them might go on their program and talk about the thing. But I don't even care where they have the thing on Sunday. The bottom line is this though. We want to make sure, folks, remember, we have to take this thing extremely serious. If on election day, we allow anything to happen to stop us from casting our vote or stop others who we know will support the new National Party from casting the vote, you have landlords telling people to go and put them out. You have landlords telling people that kind of thing. Yeah? You have people that are telling people to behave scampish is okay.
Yeah.
So if they're telling them to behave scampish is okay, and we ain't have people that are alert and with the eyes open when the ballots are being counted,
we in trouble.
Brothers and sisters, you will lose a seat that you believe that you have.
We want to make sure too
keep your eye open.
Both political parties accompany the box to a special occasion. We don't want them to say no. We NNP alone that accompany the box. We want to ensure that you accompany the box to the special location, properly sealed, because you have international observers. We don't want no hiccup, no doubt, after the election. And
Somebody say a Boeing 15 will be taken off at Pearl. A Boeing 15 taken off at Pearl on Sunday.
I just read one say that I will all them plane coming on land.
Yeah.
Well, we don't discuss the police voting, man.
Well, no, let's just take a quick one on that before you go, because I realize that the NDC, I know that City Song may have to. City Song, hold on with us a little while for this one, because it's very important. The police, and I've received several messages from some friends and relatives of mine that are police officers over the last few hours, that they've been receiving text messages. Nothing is wrong with that, but they also say they know the reality. They know the reality that when the public called for a vehicle from the Royal Grenada Police Force to come because they had an emergency, that they used to tell them the van out.
Beautiful.
That the tires,
if
the vehicle was a private vehicle and police were inspecting that vehicle that the police were driving, that the tires were down to wire, that person would have been charged. But the police had to drive it under the NDC. Because if the ambulance couldn't get tires and battery, waiting for the police.
What's about the policemen and the shoes?
Yeah.
Well, one officer messaged me, he said, don't call his name. I wouldn't call his name, Papa. Oh gosh, you should know better than
private
that.
citizens.
But he's telling me he personally got his shoes from the Catholic Church.
Yeah. Private citizens basically, had to offer assistance to the police to give them their transport to do their duty. And that is no joke.
Some people used to say, how come
that is no joke,
all of us were soldiers in the People Revolutionary Army. And when you look at the quality of vehicles now, and how the police is well dressed, they have no problem with police no problem for uniform again, and they drive the vehicle now with pride, You don't see a police with an old brick of vehicle on the road, I mean, and shame to walk the street with a uniform. No, he wears his uniform with pride and dignity, and he drive his vehicle now with class, pride, and dignity.
If you notice, during the ranks between 2008 and 2013, you had several people who belonged to the Special Services Unit that had on different types of camouflage. And the reason for that was because guys got fed up of patching the camouflage that they had there. And some of them, they got relatives to send down something for them, and they receive it as police officers. They receive it and they spent their own money, as little as it was, and purchased. So you had different guys in desert type camouflage and the square camouflage and different things, because they had to purchase it on their own and through necessity, not because they just wanted a nice one, but it was through necessity that they had to purchase it. And I remember one particular officer, a good friend of mine, he made the statement, and the statement came out on radio that police officers patching pants. And they sent him in Petit Martinique to work,
So I want to ask you a question.
Immediately transferred to Petit Martinique.
I need to ask you a question. What is responsible for that kind of confidence in the police force now? It's because of the way they've been treated in terms of transportation, clothing, increments,
increments
as well.
And in terms of the police force, is not politically infested, with
leadership is one.
Politics in the force.
Leadership is one. I think the present commissioner and hierarchy of the police force has a lot to do with the way that the police force is operating right now. They have a key part. So I think we must congratulate Commissioner James and the other senior officers of the Royal Grenada Police Force. Secondly, they have been commended regionally and internationally. Trinidad Police Force want to know how Grenada does do that. That a murder take place, and within 48 hours generally, they have the person in the lockup. I mean, yes, part of it is that we Grenadians, we fast. We see
fast for good.
But thank God we fast.
But then guys just walk too.
So that when you check the murder rate in Grenada, you realize it's very low. But you also realize, even with that low murder rate, that by the time you check how many people were arrested for it, it's nearly always at 100%. You don't hear somebody dead and nobody could tell and nobody can find out and the police can't find out. And if you're one of the people like me who like to read online some of the cases when they come back from the regional courts and so read what they say in them, you realize that the Royal Grenada Police Force has some very competent and capable people there. When they put a case on you, they ain't slipping up in court. You know, when
forensic,
they put the forensic, the people who doing the fingerprint, even psychological analysis of the individual during questioning and that sort of thing.
Kudos
to
Mr. Modest.
I also want to
throughout the police force, it's excellent.
Tell me, have you ever experienced a Prime Minister, Press Secretary so active and committed you in any function, you know? Have you ever?
The only one I would guess to say that was as active would be Nancy Maguire. Nancy Maguire was, I love Nancy Maguire. And that's a personal preference. I'll always love Nancy Maguire. I love Keisha, I love Barry Collymore, but Nancy Maguire, man.
She was exceptional.
Yeah, she was.
I didn't have much experience about Nancy, but I'm looking at Keisha and she's really active in every function. She's there, you know, keeping in touch. I know Press Secretary most time remain inside.
She gotta be energetic, you know.
Yes, and also we don't live up with friend Clicker St. Paul, but he does his work. He does his work.
The thing is, we're talking about Cletus work, even Cletus alone.
We live in he does his work, he does his job.
Good morning. But
he does his job.
Back to the police force though. And even when you look at the different arms of the security services, so you look at the Royal Grenada Police Force, you look at the traffic department, you look at the fact that, look at the amount of vehicles that they have gotten from the time NNP came in 2013 to now. Even if you discount the ones that they just received from the Chinese government. But you go even further back and you look at all of the other vehicles that they received before that. And when Prime Minister handed over the keys, he's saying, take care of this. Take care of this. And you have the commissioner there saying, well, look what we went through. Look what we went through under the last administration. We couldn't get vehicles. We couldn't get this. We couldn't get that. Also looking at various other aspects. The Coast Guard. The Coast Guard. All you making noise, close the door.
The prison.
Nice. The Coast. All you know, I was just sitting on our talk.
And the prison too.
Yeah, the Coast Guard has been doing an excellent. And I don't think enough times we give, for instance, that Coast Guard unit praise that they.
We just forget them. Let's forget them.
When something happened, like we had that tragedy at sea a couple of years ago, the boat going to Carriacou.
Beat them up.
Everybody there, the Coast Guard. But I don't think we give those men and women in the Coast Guard enough praise for the wonderful, excellent job that they do.
In securing our shorelines.
The immigration department.
The job that they did in saving these people's lives on them. The water was extremely choppy.
And even
minutes after they rescue those guys, the boat gone down.
But to find
the last time,
that's recent again.
That's recently,
and recently to find the bodies of the persons who were on that Carriacou excursion. So it's not an easy job. These guys had to understand the flow of the ocean, how the tide is going and everything, and they were able to not find everybody, but at least find one or two. And to know that the conditions under which they go out there, because me and everybody know I'm not a man that like the ocean. I like the beach. I ain't like out in the high sea. Devon can tell you.
What I don't
like all day. They do a branch. I don't like all day. But for them to go through that, the immigration department, and to see the immigration department and the professional way, and people always comment on that.
Passport, how we get passport so fast now.
And people always comment too, when you're coming in, on the professional way that the immigration department deals with you when you're coming through. They might have an issue with my friends in customs, but they say when it comes to immigration, they're so excellent. And our customs officers, we love you all too. We know that you all are doing the best.
Pierre.
Yeah, man. It's another Pierre.
Another Pierre. No, the big belly one. Did I say that?
You shout that, man. Shout that in the mic, you know.
Did I say that?
Even the officers at the prison service. And recently we saw both the Royal Grenada Police Force got some new recruits. We saw that the prisons got some recruits. We know that recently there was a police exam again to take in more officers into the system, as you have officers moving forward and going up in the ranking and so on. So I think that we have to be very proud of our protective services.
Very proud.
Grenada's ranking has to do, especially with us as Grenadians being a peaceful people, and because we like to peep.
How do you think they handle the
militia thing
the present political? How do you think the police handle the present political situation, both securing the NNP meeting and the NDC meetings and so
The
on.
thing is, I think the police are doing an excellent job and they're doing their job. I think the problem is when things happen, it's not being reported.
Yeah.
So sometimes you have an incident where, for instance, there was one on Sunday where the NDC supporter threw a beer on a young lady and they box a driver. I'm not sure if they even report that to the police.
Yeah, that happened somewhere in
So
Portray.
these sort of things have to be reported to the. You can't say the police not doing their job if it's not being reported to them. So when these things happen, when threats are made, even if it's verbal threats, when these things are happening and it's not reported to the police and no action is taken, you can't blame the police because you did not report it. And a habit that I really want NNP supporters take, everybody, you all must start taping everything. When they start, pull out your phone and tape them.
Just tape them.
Tape them. Have your evidence.
Technology now.
Have your evidence. Yeah.
All you don't box me because I calling the police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, and we feel
we didn't mention the fire service. But
Yeah,
the other day they had it busy down in Frequente.
Despite the trying times and so with what they have.
And let me say, I don't know where to find these guys that just drive the fire truck. They build them?
Yeah.
Because to look at the size of the roads that some of these guys just back that fire truck up into, there's a fire in Cemetery Hill, and I look at the guys. I know they get that truck into that position and then they get it out from there. And not a scratch on the truck, you know. So I'm looking at them, and I mean, those firemen, especially those drivers and so, they do an excellent job as well. And outside of that, going out and moving around to communities and speaking with people and so whether it's traffic or fire, whichever department, they're doing a good job.
Why do you think people Grenadian proud of the police and other countries people don't proud of the police force? What caused that? What responsible for that?
Devon just said it. I think it's the whole militia thing in some
We are the kind of old militia thing in us because as a people, I mean, during the revolution, you had the soldiers and you had the militia. Nothing could not happen within a village and the militia don't know.
I tell you, right, a couple of months ago, I had little doubts about the 15 right now. Sunday gone and visiting those meetings, both NNP and NDC meeting, erase some of that doubt.
I guess 16 now.
You see, I'm comfortable, you know. All the gladiators will stand up. I doubt any gladiator will fall. Zingo, you see any gladiator falling?
I'll be going back on the ground. You know, all I know my game is a ground game. All I know Zingo deal with data.
That's
I'll
all.
be going back on the ground.
And with me, the St. I love women. The St. Andrews women, they landed it first.
That's a powerhouse.
Folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. Remember the meetings tonight. Sister Delma Thomas, you also has a meeting tonight. I'm trying to remember. I'm not seeing on the schedule, but Carriacou, in Dover by Evelyn Shop. St. Andrew Southeast Confer Junction in Calavini, that's St. George Southeast, Confer Junction in Calavini, that's Brother Gregory Bowen. Brother Alvin Dabrio, he's up in Clogier tonight. Yeah. St. Patrick East and West Day in River Sally. Listen, you see that River Sally meeting?
Massive.
All you see that River Sally meeting?
Yeah.
Massive.
All you hear that, if that River Sally meeting going anything close to what happened in Rose Hill last week.
Yeah.
Papa, yo.
And
reach somehow.
Messi, give us a call. When is Monkhan meeting? It's supposed to be tonight?
Yeah, we really need to know. Although it's only Mountain, people go be there and it go be big, but we want to know. All right?
We want to know.
Yeah, we want to know. We want
That's
to
the
tell
home
people.
base. That's where the thing started.
Yes, indeed. So, folks, that's all the time we have for Hard Talk today. It's been a wonderful one. I want to thank my good friend Zingo, who was just passing through, and we grab him and pull him inside.
And KB.
And good friend KB. And watch, strange enough, when we started talking this morning, the first person come to mind was KB, you know.
Yeah,
but like KB smell it, but he come up one time. Come up the road.
He follow me.
He follow Zingo.
He follow Zingo.
Yes, indeed. So, folks, remember, we're going to repeat the press conference. We will repeat that press conference immediately as we end the program now. We're going to repeat that press conference. So, remember, you had to call somebody, tell somebody, they had to come out on election day. And don't wait until election day to tell them no.
And also, today, NNPites, the funeral of Stella Lashington. Don't forget.
Yeah, well,
right? St. John's.
A real soldier. I think African Teller is on Friday.
African Teller is on Friday.
Yeah, I didn't get the details for Teller yet. But the Catholic Church?
The Catholic Church, yes.
In Grenville? Okay, all right. So we'll get some more information on Teller's tune Do you not tell that tune?
Yeah.
Zingo going on phone inside here. That man kind of man.
That is Zingo.
Boss, we still on air.
I thought you said that's all for hard talk.
No.
The man said that's it for hard. You didn't hear the man say that?
It's at 2 minutes. It's at 2 minutes to 12:30 there, you know.
The man said that, folks, that is it for hard talk.
So the man gone and saw fucking
Look here, we take off here. Look here, we take off here headpiece. Devon take off here headpiece.
I don't run in all here, you know, because as far as people concerned, the program could go until 1 o'clock, you know. As far as people concerned, they wanted the program go until 1 o'clock. But we have to remind people again, remember on Saturday, there's that youth motorcade that's going to be going right around the island. We will have Judd Cadet passing through with us tomorrow to give some more information.
Yeah.
Sunday, national motorcades right around converging on Pearls.
Yes.
Yeah? So we say, roll the means, all militia. We calling out everybody.
Yes. Unblock all roads.
Don't shout it to the mic. Don't shout it to the mic. We know.
Unblock all roads.
Unblock all roads.
Okay, we would have said jumbo.
Jumbo.
Uncle Gary said jumbo.
Gary, right.
That would be a big jumbo. That would be a jumbo.
All right. So, folks, that's all the time we have for today. In whatever you say, whatever you do it safe and secure, because we want to be speaking
to you and not about you.
And we're out of here.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choices. On March 13th, choose to keep Grenada moving forward. Mark an X next to the house. Vote competence. Vote NNP.
Sisters and brothers of the press, I welcome the opportunity this morning to speak to you through this press conference. As we all are aware, this is just 1 week before national elections in the country, and therefore there are a number of issues I would assume members of the media would want to have some comments or clarification on. So this is your opportunity this morning to do precisely this. But before I begin, I make a following comment for what it's worth. I believe so far we have succeeded in meeting our objectives for our campaign up to this point. But as you know, politics is a very dynamic business, so you don't rest in your laurels at any time until everybody is voted. We are satisfied that the objective of doing everything to bring the country together was very important, and we think we are, to a large extent, we are satisfying that fundamental objectives. While we had not signed on to a protocol, we have kept what we perceive to be the tenets of the protocol, which is not conduct ourselves in a way that sends a message of division and hate and spite in the campaign. I cannot say everyone else have done the same thing, particularly those who claim to sign the protocol. So the protocol means nothing if your intentions about what you're signing is not noble. And that was my fundamental problem where I see it. We believe that we succeeded in building partnerships so that where I sit as political leader of the NNP today, I've seen a tremendous movement of support to the NNP and hardly anything away from us. That to me is a clear indication that our message is going down well, rebounding very well with the population as a. And one more significant thing that I've noticed in our scientific analysis of voting patterns in this election and watching the crowd that turns out to our meetings, we see a mixture of all age groups at our meetings, and that's highly significant. In fact, and it surprised me even one more step in the sense that generally speaking, you see most of the time in massive rally, most of the people you see right in front of your face are the young girls or young ladies. On Sunday, I saw a nice mixture of young boys and young girls. That tells me something. So we perceive that at all age groups that we're doing well. Scientific shows that we are not losing any age group at all to our opponent. And that was done, science done by regional pollsters, not one, two. Also, I believe we have succeeded in getting the support of all classes in this country, majority of people. When I speak, like I mean majority, because clearly in every group you have supporters of the opposition, and quite so, because we live in a democracy. So we say the classes, we see the poor class of people in our country, the marginalized, we see them in their majority way behind our party. We see the middle class voters right there. And strange enough, probably the highest amount of upper middle class and above business type persons that I've ever seen in my political life support the NNP. It has been this campaign. We have not seen any hostility from religious groups in the country. I couldn't say this about 2008. I could not say this. If anything, I would have said we saw a very clear, strong opposition coming from religious groups. That is not to say some people in all of those categories have their political sides and not necessarily NNP. But there's been no hostility. There's been no open bias. And to me, that is a clear indication that things are going the way we think it should go. So, finally, to last 2 points. We believe we're restoring hope because of our period of governance. A lot of people were hopeless in 2013, are now feeling not everyone has got what they believe they should get. There's still people who wish to have some things that they have not received or yet achieved. But by and large, I believe people have hope that things are coming. And I think that in life, even when you do not get what you want, if you perceive it will come, then of course that hope issue becomes a crucial one. So, I think we've set the stage based on significant issues that have emerged during the period of our time in government for the last 5 years. Economic growth, that's where jobs come. Jobs does not come from a government saying, take 5,000 people and put in the public service. Take 1,000 persons and put in a department to create jobs. That's not creating jobs. That is creating a wealth fallacy or political mindset which says that just vote for me and I'm going to give you a work. That sort of philosophy has gone out of the window in this 21st century, where what determines your success and the job that countries will have primarily would have to be the economic activity in several areas, and we believe we have created that opportunities there. So, colleagues, my sisters and brothers of the press, I think my opening statement has been long enough. So it is your turn to be able to pose the questions that you may wish to ask.
Good morning to you, sir. Cherry and Blackman Stephen from GBN. I want to know, first of all, starting off with the oil and gas report, which you would have indicated on a political platform. That will a copy be made available to the media? And can you disclose to us or tell us when we'll be able to find out exactly what is in that report?
My friend, you will get a major announcement on Sunday. Don't preempt. I can't afford to preempt my announcements on Sunday. I'm sure you will be there. If you're not there, you will be listening. So stay tuned.
As it pertains to Senator Chester Humphrey's position, we have seen him on the political platform on several occasions. Is that compromising his position as a senator?
Well, the parliament is there is no senator now, my friend. I find it really strange, that this would ever come up. I think the lawyer that simply doesn't understand our constitution. When the parliament is dissolved, the president of the Senate does not get any pay. He's not working anymore. He's no longer a senator. So Roland Bowler, who was, when he left the government job, and was just a simple parliamentarian, Alexandra Otway, that ended on the 1st of February, because the parliament was dissolved on the 31st. So that even the workers who have been paid by the parliament, like offices, they couldn't get paid. In my office in Bushaju, I had to find the monies to pay them because the parliament is closed. So you can't get paid for parliamentary work while the parliament is closed. None of us are parliamentarians. In fact, on some of my public meetings, I hear some of my chairman calling me the representative for St. George's Northwest, and I had to correct them when I go to speak. I'm the Prime Minister, but I'm not the representative of Northwest. Most likely will be so after the 13th of March, but not now. Okay?
Good morning, Karima Lewis, the New Today newspaper. Mr. Prime Minister...
What did it? New Today? Say it loud, man. I want to hear you.
You're seeking another term in office. Would you say that the New National Party has done enough to deserve another term? What would you say to voters who are saying that the New National Party has done nothing but tax the people, or done nothing but drag the country's name to the ground? And what would you say to the undecided voters who are not sure which of the two parties?
Well, I don't know if I can convince anybody who says that NNP has done nothing. I don't know that anything I could say that I have not said before, over and over. When you have a country that has been regionally and internationally, when we've been laughed at before 2013, laughed by the same persons who are talking about NNP has done nothing. We have been praised. My friend, we would not have been given chairman of the Small States Forum, where on Sunday a major announcement of $100 million of grant support. And I will give you the specific then. We would not have got it if those persons were there in 2013. We are now getting grant support. Major development, $20 million announced only yesterday to Grenada. Grant support, and these are loans for Antigua, Grenada, and St. Lucia. So, besides this, we have average growth rate or 5%. The only country in the Caribbean in the last 5 years. Before that, in 2008, 2003, we were negative 2%. And if you correlate growth with jobs and economic activity, you'll see where we are, relatively speaking. In addition, we had a GDP, debt to GDP ratio, although some members of the press seem not to understand what this means, because I made this very clear that debt is not the number among the debt is not the issue, it's the debt to GDP ratio. We are 8% when we took office. Now we're 69%. That's 39% drop. Compare that to NDC getting office in 2008, we were 84%. And we end up with 108, an increase of 24%. Unemployment was 47%, now it's 23.4, the last number. And that's not my numbers. Unlike previous ministers, I don't change now in the Ministry of Finance. That used to happen before. Sometimes I disagree with it, what the technical people give me, and on my budget presentation I would say it's conservative and I expect to be higher, but I never change it. Fact is, the World Bank has assessed the numbers, and they are scientists, they're statisticians, mathematicians checking those numbers, and they verify we are 23.4 as opposed to 40 something in 2013. So the unemployment is dropping considerably so. You see investments in so many parts of the country. So I don't know, maybe some people don't drive past Grand Anse, True Blue, River, Bathway, around the country, St. Andrews. They don't drive there. Maybe they don't. Maybe I feel sorry for them. Maybe they're incapacitated or something. But some mentally and otherwise, maybe. I don't know. But it seems strange that anybody can say, even if you do not like it, which is okay, because everybody can't like one party, but to say that nothing has been done, and then to add, you know, this story was written before this election, you know. The language I'm hearing today, we bring crooks and so on, that was a story in 2008 that won them the election. That was in the story in 2013, we lost them the election. They come in with that again, bring it on. I'm sure the people know better. We have no crooks. We had Si Wong here, was coming here, they arrested them after the government signed. And the Minister of Finance then was blaming the Prime Minister for taking those crooks into Grenada under NDC. And I could give you a lot more examples. But I never got on the radio and say NDC bring in crooks. Tell me a country where you could have a government in operation and that government hasn't got into bed with any person, one person, who turned it to be a problem. The great United States, George Bush, Bill Clinton, Donald Trump, you know, there might be a lot more of that, but that's another story. The point is, to make that statement, it does not make a lot of sense. To me, my dear sister, if I want to be effective against an opponent, I will say what sounds true to people and then hit them in the areas where they have doubts. But to say to the people where you know it is not true, where people do not believe it, I think you're losing the game. And I love it. To tell, bring it on, talk about crooks. Bring it on and say nothing happening in the country. I love this.
What about the taxes? Because a lot of people are crying out about the taxes.
My friend, have you ever heard, you're young, you're very young. Since I was a little boy, every election, two things you're always hearing. I'm sure all of you, too much taxes. Every election, you hear that. Too much taxes and the healthcare system is bad. And that is, you're hearing it all over the world. You heard it in America today. In the last election in the United States, you're in Trinidad, the country with all money. In Guyana and other places, too much taxes, too much taxes. My friend, the country has made tremendous progress with some of the sacrifices we have had people to make. And I've made it. We will progressively reduce some of them as income increase And with economic activity increasing in the country, I expect we'll see. But I will not sit here and make a commitment to increase thing by $300 and $400 for people just like that without a proviso. If the fiscal situation affords it, yes. I wouldn't sit here and say drop the oil price from what it is now to $9 a barrel, a gallon, and make a commitment like this, because it would be highly irresponsible of me. The question is, you have to ask yourself, anyone that tells you this and making all the promises they make, pay one off immediately and so on, pay this, pay that, give this, tell me, when you do those things you're doing, where are you getting the money? Are you going to take it from your pocket to give people? Especially those who have failed to bring economic activity in the country, who have taken vindictive actions against investors when they came in, who almost every investor is afraid of. The NDC's track record, unlike 2008 when people did not know them, is so poor that most businessmen, and I could tell you this, because I've been in the politics longer than most of them, are afraid of the NDC. Leadership, the present NDC, not NDC, the leadership of the NDC. I'm telling you this, a fact. This has been the easiest period for the NNP to raise money locally for campaign. Even when we do not call people, they call us and say, what happened? We want to protect our jobs. We want to protect our business. So we need you there. There are people who are saying to you, I'm no NNP. I don't like Keith Mitchell, but I'm not voting for Keith Mitchell, and I'm voting for myself. People saying that. If you don't hear it, it comes to me. And in fact, some of our own supporters feel that when they hear somebody say they don't like Keith Mitchell and they don't like NNP, they get vexed. I say, why are you vexed? You expect everybody to like me? If you expect that, or you're not in politics, you're not in life, you're not living. Some people don't like you for all kinds of reasons. Sometimes no fault of yours. So I'm saying to you, I'm very comfortable where we are. My sister, I just must say that I am not unhappy when somebody raises the issue and say NNP has done nothing. Because the people are going to judge you are the voters. And I'm extremely comfortable where I'm at right now.
Morning, sir.
Yes.
Richardson from Informer. The concern among the, if you walk into the communities and so on,
yes, the
campaign, not enough has been said about the issues that concern the people. In fact, they feel among people that the campaign is still geared towards attacks on both sides, rather than focusing more on issue what concerns Grenada. Assuming that your government wins the next election, can you give us the projection for the next, the first 100 days in office? What kind of plans that your government will?
Well, first of all, let me differ with you about the campaign. The NNP, I have to take difference with you, Johnson, on that one. Every time I go on a platform, I mention our successes, and you would have to be a nut not to talk about the things that you have delivered, because people are going to judge you on your performance. So we must talk about that. And then I go to the next stage and I say, we will continue this, because if you are satisfied that you had 5% growth with certain policies, you don't change it. If anything, you increase initiative in that area. So we mentioned, for example, all the plans for the productive sectors. If you get a manifesto, we don't say anything inside there we don't believe we can achieve. We talk about the productive agriculture. We point out how tourism and agriculture is now, for the first time, different, including ours. Historically, we've been saying we had a marriage between agriculture and tourism, and the two of them never even get engaged before they get married. But now I think you start seeing it as a fact, with sandals silver sands and so on, going out in the countryside and contracting farmers. You have seen a major, over $20 million investment in sugarcane industry, where about 70-something workers already employed, farmers and other people. So they are getting a boost from those activities. You have seen investment in irrigation, which shows that we can have food all year round. Despite the fact that we're getting some strange weather patterns right now, which almost says you don't need irrigation right now because you're getting water almost every other 2-3 days. We have seen investment in the commodity boards. We spent millions of dollars direct to the Cocoa Association to support buying of cocoa. Nutmeg Association, the concession activities, and you've seen a plan for merging, something we have tried to get the Cocoa Association, that the archaic system that they have in place is hurting the farmers and hurting the institutions. We have put plans in place. We've talked about that. We have thought of further expansion for tourism. Intra-regional travel. I made a big statement at the heads of government meeting recently, I'm sure you listened, where I believe that we should be dropping taxes on flights within the region. And my colleagues, some of them want to talk about increasing. I said, no, I'm not going to sign on to anything that says further increases for tax on airline flights in the region. I believe the tourism product would be enhanced enormously by that. More marketing for tourism. For the first time, the tourism board has not, when I've been in government, and I've been in government for a while, have not said that the government is not delivering what it promised in terms of marketing support. They have not asked to call us and ask us, well, where the money is us. That's the first time. We're investing in trying to modernize the sites, the OECS project with St. Lucia and St. Vincent, modernizing some of the tourism sites that we have with the World Bank project. We're also looking at how do you enhance some of the major investment in the hotel industry. That's another area. I've talked a lot about that. If you look at the manifesto, you'll see more specific in that areas. We talk about education, the success and of course the potential for it is. We've seen it. Healthcare, we've got a plan. And some people want to tell us now that they have all the plans, but I mean, I gave stories. Go into that hospital, 2011, 2012, and watch people dying, and they just need a painkiller and they can't get. A famous one was a national football goalkeeper. Tears came in my eyes. I walked in there and nurse said to me, here is this gentleman want to see you. When I reached there, I saw it. It didn't look like him. Locks. He was dying of cancer. Just painkiller. He told me he doesn't wake up when he falls asleep, and hardly any sleep. If he get half an hour, he's a lot. They did not have painkiller. I had to go and buy and call a friend. And then I called his family and said, look, you need to get this guy out. And because they got him out, months later, I did help. He lasted another 9 months. He went to Washington and then back. So, I mean, the state of healthcare, everybody knows, was terrible. And I'm not blaming NDC. The problem of healthcare, which is not just related to a political party. We ourselves as individuals, all of us here, including media people, are responsible for where we are today. Because some of the major issues of healthcare are not tackled in a non-partisan and non-biased way. We go at people. All of us have our lives. We should go at the system. So if the nurse is not doing a job, we must speak about it. If the doctor is not doing a job, let's speak about it. The politician's not doing this, let's speak about it. But the politician, the government must spend, the government must spend. It doesn't work so. I say, the best healthcare plan, we have it, but they will never achieve what we want to achieve if we don't get the people. The opposition and the government must work together. So if my government goes into opposition, we are promising today to work very significantly with the government of the day. Because if I get sick, I want to go to a place, I'm sure that I'll get good treatment. So health is something we play with. It is not related to a political party, because all of us want to be healed when we are sick. So Johnson had to speak, you know, sports, you're a sports person. Which party you hear talk, the sportsmen, whether they're from Victoria, Sates, whether they're cricketers, footballers, one party they talk about, they don't talk about anything else. And not because of Keith Mitchell alone, I think it's because we have plans in place that promote the development of sports in a general culture, and I can talk all the issues. Honestly, I cannot say, well, clearly you have to talk about your opponent. But let me tell you something. If you listen to my line on the platform, I don't attack personal character. I go at issues. So if a man don't pay taxes, as a minister, I must talk about that. If a man going to raise VAT when he's building his house, I'm going to talk about it. And if you better talk about it. And as soon as the house is finished, the VAT is also is returned to its original level. We must talk about that. And I must talk about if people where I live, if I grew up in an area and very few people they want to see me, that tells me something about the individual. And I have a right to talk about that. So if I grew up in Appeal and you go there and you ask people about me and they tell you I'm no good, you better believe it. I'm no good. so my friend, I have not heard members attacking people's character. And people talk about people's wives, people's child. My son has a nice girlfriend and go get married. And what the hell? What does Olinga's life come in that? So, if Olinga has a nice girlfriend to get married to, so I must get vote for that? well, I don't. This is becoming almost a joke, you know, my friend.
Good morning, Mr. Prime Minister. In your wrapping up, you mentioned about House and lawsuit. On Sunday, the opposition leader mentioned that he had sued you. He had come true on his promise to. What is the status of that case?
What? Which one?
Mr. Buck said he had taken legal action against you with regard to the payment of his taxes when you came to the nation. He said that he has taken. Can you tell us this about that case?
Let me tell you something. He provided what he considered. Bet your life he ain't going to court with that. But that is for election purposes. So he could say he's suing. The facts are very clear. On the last, about 3 months ago, he settled the taxes. So if you said you had paid, why are you settling months after that? And claiming that his taxes, his wife is different from him. Give me a break. When you file in taxes, your wife's tax is different from us. Because it is known that the wife paid from the earnings that she had. And I don't really want to talk about them because honestly, I respect people's family. But since he raised it, he brought it into public domain. I could repeat that. He did not pay his taxes when he should pay it. And he wanted us to give him his over $90,000 that taxpayers were for gratuity. And we said, every one of us, including me, must only get paid when we settle our taxes. He just settled it. And that's why. And in fact, because he didn't pay much, he hardly got anything. So I don't know. So don't worry. This political gamesmanship that Nazim is involved in. Tell him I repeated it today. So he can go to court and he can get an increased payment from me if he's right. And I will repeat it over and over on the platform. Tell him also to explain why he brought down VAT when he was building his house. Just tell him that.
Okay, I have a couple of questions. One is, election is in like 7 days. On Friday, the police is voting. We did hold your announcement that the OS Observer will be sending a team. Yes. Can you tell us who are the organizations sending observers? Have they arrived in Grenada?
Yes, in fact, I think...
How big is the team?
No, I don't know the extent of the team size, but I know the OS is sending a team. I'm disappointed one. I wrote about 3 months ago, and the election is pending, and asked that they send a mission before the election. This idea of sending a mission just to go and observe voting in polling booth. I really, honestly, I've just been telling my people at the Ministry of Finance that I was an observer on the 1990 elections. I was an international observer together with Jimmy Carter and Andrew Young in Irish State first election, 80s first election, 1990. And we went days before election. All we did was observe people voting in polling vote. I don't know. You want to be there to observe the process. This nonsense you're hearing about padding list. We've never been involved in it. I will never get involved in it. I am too confident about where we are to even think about this. And even when I was not confident, I never thought about it. But you know something? Who is padding list? 45 people in New Hampshire who are supposed to vote in Northwest where they know that the game is over is now placed in Northeast. That's the problem. Everything you see them accuse the NNPO is what they plan to do. We here, for example, have 5 plane loads coming on to vote. We have no plane load coming to vote. But they gone in front. What he said, old people say, take in front. Before what? In front takes you.
That is your pattern. You were saying that some persons from
45 people in North.
How did they end there and what period did they end it up
well,
there?
It's clear that you would have gone there before the elections. And
so they ended up there for the 2013 election?
It could have too. I don't know how long it has been, but it was pointed out. And my view is that the electoral office had time to do their own review and make the necessary changes, because you have to prove that the person lived. You see, don't forget, those of you who know how the constituencies are broken up. But you drive through from Grenville Vale up to New Hampshire, and the left-hand side is northwest. The right-hand, as you turn that deep corner, and the right-hand side is northeast. So what has happened is that somebody or persons, either they themselves as individuals or somebody in a political organization would have encouraged them. It's your guess who those persons could be. I can't them, but you can guess who they are. Certainly it won't be me, because I'm very happy that the gentleman who's running against him, I want to see him get a few votes. And I would not want to not to have votes on my side.
Okay, my final question for now. I had some others, but one of my other colleagues raised it. Last week Friday, I was looking at the news on GBN and saw that we have an introduction of a species at one of our hotel compounds. I have followed up and discovered where, for whatever reason I would not see the property. But I've also learned that it is also at the airport, and it is also now taken to another property. Is government aware of it, what government plan on doing, and whether or not the property owners is going to work with government to fumigate and get rid of those that came in from soil out of Florida?
Yeah, well, I don't know how it came in, my dear friend. I can't jump to those conclusions. When you make statements like that, you have to have the facts to support it, and scientific facts. I heard about this, and we have inquired about ministry, and they are doing follow-up. And of course, they cannot and will not make a statement of fact, not a statement of fact, a statement attributing it to any specific organization until they have the facts to support it. And we don't know whether these were there before. We don't know that. So it's a speculation. So I can't pronounce on this, but we are following up. And as you said, if we find that out that's the case, then we're certainly going to move to do what we have to do to protect this country.
Good morning, sir.
Sister, when you finish, go ahead.
Yeah, as far as I know, the memorandum of understanding would have been handed over to the Public Workers Union this morning in Cabinet Room. From your point of view, are you satisfied that, okay, this is an issue that has been out there for like 35 plus years. Are you satisfied that significant progress has been made with regard to the pension issue?
Yeah, I'm satisfied. And it took a lot of work. And I need to give a lot of compliment to the CAPSEC and, of course, the Permanent Secretary of the Department of Public Administration, and some of the staff of the Ministry of Finance who work very closely with them to reach where we are today. It's a very difficult issue. It's a complex one with tremendous implications for the finances of the country. So it's not something we can just say because we have a heart for it and saying, well, it's unfair and it's not good, and just say, let's do it. It doesn't work so. When you plan and you make a commitment, you must have the basis upon which you believe that will be achieved. And I believe where we are, it looks reasonably good. And assuming our finances continue to improve the way it has done over the last several years, every year I could repeat that to you, that our prediction on tax, on revenue, has been surpassed in the actual performance. That's why I'm able to do additional stuff than what was in the budget itself. And that's why we were able to afford an actual one-off. Because if we didn't have that room space, we couldn't do it. One of the things we have to be very careful of, colleagues, we have signed into a law called the Fiscal Responsibility Act. That is bringing tremendous benefits to this country. The world is watching us, you know. There was a statement one day, government has signed on to pay a set of almost $500 million to unions. You know, we got called from the World Bank and IMF and so on, because they were giving us support in further enhancement of economic activity. And if we ever break that Fiscal Responsibility Act, crap will smoke with pipe with a lot of these organizations. So when you hear a party come in an election campaign saying, I'm going to reduce this, tell me where the revenue coming from to make sure you don't breach the fiscal responsibility. And one thing I make, see this thing called oil price, gas prices. I remember 2011, 2012, gas price was $18. And we called on the government then to do a little room. No, didn't touch it. And the truth is, I don't know if they could have touched it, because if you were selling assets to pay salaries and you dropped the oil price, you might have been in more trouble. Yeah. But when the same party is making an announcement that they're going to drop it to, even without assessing the situation in the country, I think it's clearly it can be believable.
Right. So my final question to you, sir. The open skies policy, can you just explain that a little more as to how exactly Grenada will benefit from this?
It means that people have a right, they're planes from different areas, right, have a right to service a route if it so wishes. Because if you don't have that, then all you have to have is bilateral arrangements between your charter, and your service, correspondingly so. Then I think that has been a problem, because let's face it, let's suppose Grenada decided once to get additional flight. An airline that can service the routes in the Caribbean. And we designated one area to fly to is Barbados. Right now, without an open sky policy, Barbados can say, no, I have to protect Liat. So I'm not going to allow your plane to land. We live in a liberalized world, and I think this whole idea of protectionism, this protectionism stuff, you see the debate in the United States? Attempt at protectionism, I'm not sure the president's going to get his way on matters of this nature. So that is really the fundamental issue, liberalization of airline activities throughout the world. That's what it means.
Good morning, Prime Minister and everyone. My name is Ariam Bartholomew from the Grenadian Voice. My question has to do with agriculture. Prime Minister, on various platforms, we hear the opposition leaders and many other political leaders speak of developing the agricultural sector, especially agro-processing. They see this as a solution to job creation and overall boom in the economy. What is your can you give me a feasible solution to this?
No, we have stated the same thing. We believe agribusiness shall, so not
But in what way? In what way? Yeah, you plan to develop this?
Well, for one, you want to be able to create incentives, right? There are a number of people in our country that have excellent ideas to use local products to make secondary products, manufacturing. The problem, there are two fundamental problems. The inability to get all to do it, and the cost of electricity. I think this country has not really got it, that the role electricity is playing in hampering economic activity in this country is a serious issue. And I want to make it clear and repeat, I have no problem with any institution, business, investing in our country. In fact, I love it. Everyone who knows history of supporting, that's why these investors come here. But I believe fundamentally that monopolistic service like telephone, electricity, water must be regulated. Otherwise, and just whether it's Grenadian, even if Grenadian own it, and you don't regulate it, and he can raise his price, that's a fundamental problem. And worse yet, when the person is somebody from outside, because they don't have the feelings I have about what's taking place in my country, and so on. And I make the point, colleagues, and just to make the point again, and as I said, I have no problem with WRB as an individual. Government doesn't intend to run any electricity company. I would not be part of that. Because I know what government-owned operations are like, generally speaking. That's true enough of this. But I say that whatever we do, we must make sure that the prices charged is reasonable. And they made the same point about telephone. I remember Cayman Wallace was really angry with us for attempting to liberalize. I led the discussion for the OECS and the liberalization of telecommunication services. Cayman Wallace was mad with us. And they were saying, oh, how are they helping them? They're giving West Indies Creed all this money. I look at $5 million while they profit. When the books are open, billions of pounds were made from the region. So they give a little pittance. And they say they're so nice to us. And the Godfather. Look, money's made here, and money's made here. So if you give a little portion based on some law that was passed that you must give because of the law, then I don't know that you've been doing us a great favor. And I'm talking about telephone, electricity, and if water is privatized, then you have to make sure that we have the necessary condition to protect the consumers.
So basically, you're saying that you have to get competition to standardize the price.
Competition will drop the price.
To drop the price.
Yes.
So that will be the solution to.
One of the solutions, let me tell you. I don't see the time right now where you'd have more than one electricity company in the country. So be very careful. I don't see it happening. What we're talking about, liberalizing the generation of energy. That's what we're talking about. So if I have a solar panel on my house that can bring me electricity service, why should I have to go to Grenlec to get permission? That's ridiculous. The only country in the world that is happening is this country. Because the government then in 1994, with the new electricity supplier, gave them more of it than the generation of energy. I'm not talking electricity, energy. Now, if you generate it, you have to sell it to Grenlec, and Grenlec sell it back to you. I mean, give me a break. That sounds like Manje Popat. I can't be part of that. So I don't think the debate in the country has zeroed in. You know what the debate is right now? Kit Mitchell don't like, or BRB don't like Grenlec and Boeing, and oh, this company is so nice to the country and blah, blah, blah. Give us that for school and they give us that for. That's what the debate is on. It's extremely unfortunate, and I don't blame people. But I'm saying it's very unfortunate that the debate is not really where it should be. Hopefully one day we will see that.
Good morning, everybody. Prime Minister, in relation to Linda's question of follow-up, the species that she was talking about, 2 years ago, I did a story on that same species. I spoke to Paul Graham, and everybody know who that is in that, and he indicated that it came in through a shipment, because it's not something that's indigenous to Grenada or ever found here before. At that same time, the green frog came to the island. I went and saw that for myself at where they claim the property is. What I'm trying to figure out, and Linda asked, is there some sanction or is there a legislation that speaks to the introduction of foreign species that can be harmful at the end of this investigation if it is found that this was imported into our country?
Sheldon, that's my problem with the premise of the statement, is that you're stating that it's a fact it came from a hotel. You don't know this.
I did not say it come from a hotel.
No, you said that. You said that.
No, I did not.
I heard you very clearly, but I'm just making. You said that you told Paul Graham this thing came.
No, I did not say that, sir. I said I spoke to Paul Graham, and he indicated such.
Let us not argue on this. Let us argue on this. The point I'm making is there were statements made, and the same Paul Graham was attacking the government and me So, bringing in stuff here. And yet, when you call on him, where is your proof? He couldn't provide it. And that's what I'm talking about. When we deal with investment, we're dealing with issues of health. It's not guesswork. Because you can, in fact, affect the country by making up false statements. And therefore, you must have your facts. And I did point out to a friend, Linda, when she made the thing, but investigation is taking place. We did investigate that, and we found out that wasn't true. We got experts from outside, and we found out it wasn't true. If the data and work was faulty, well, be blamed. But I'm saying we will do the same thing again. And if we find out it's factual, we will, whoever brought it in will have to deal with the consequences of that.
That's what I ask. Yeah. If something's going to happen.
We will. Certainly.
At that same time, too, I'm trying to get updates here. In a press conference, you spoke about the fisheries officer. Remember that issue? And you told us about the investigation going on at the department in relation to 2 of the officers and some underhand dealings. We never got an update on that.
Well, my friend, I'd like you to help me to get one, too. That's what, Sarah, yeah. Let me make this point. We have a lot of challenges in the public sector. And I'm convinced a lot of corruption takes place within the public service that is covered up by elements of the public service. You can quote the Prime Minister on this. The majority of public servants are honest, hardworking, but there are some that live and work in the service in their time trying to misuse the resources. They will not do any serious work productively, but they spend their time. You know it, I know it. Some of them are our friends, but they do it, and if they do it, we have to be honest about it. So we have not yet. And I ask for it all the time. I say, well, what happened to this report? You were the one that provided it and say, look, this thing was happening. All of a sudden, I shouldn't say more. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about.
So we're hoping here that after March 13th, if you're still in office, we're going to push that one.
Well, I would always push. And let me tell you something. If we got information today, Siobhan, I ain't waiting for no election. When you say after March 13th, as if we're going to act then, no. Look, I have lost friends because I said, I don't believe you should go back in this place. And they turn out, I hear they're on the other side. That's life. If you stand for something, you better be prepared, and Trevor, and you, me, and everybody, to lose something for something you stand for. And if all you're thinking about is a vote, let me make this point. You cover up one vote by my friend, you lose 10 persons. You deal with one issue, you lose a friend, you gain 10. That's my philosophy, and I've seen it happen over and over.
Okay, just one question. Is there anything that you think you should have done different in your 5 years?
A lot. I can't if I wouldn't give you a litany of them now. I've always said I'm not a perfect person. And clearly, there are a lot of issues. I mean, some of the weaknesses that exist in the public service. If we had insight of some things that we could have done differently, we probably would have done it. So, I mean, I could sit with you and talk to you a number of them. And that's not easy to find out. All of us are. So, I make mistakes, my friend. The one thing I do, I'm the first man to admit when I make a mistake. I'm not afraid to say it because I'm human.
Mr. Prime Minister, I know that we are in the height of the election campaign.
Yes.
But as somebody who has been in leadership position for decades and always championing the development of young people, I wanted to get your view as to the involvement. We have seen a number of young political persons with a lot of young people spearheading it. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
My friend, you're not just young, you know. The issue is ability to make a contribution while still being young. I ran for election in 1972 as a very little boy. But I didn't go on the platform just cussing people. And I had my act together. I had an education. And a scholarship sitting there waiting while I was running for office. So my act was together. But because somebody's just 24 years or 23 years, they have one whole level, you want to tell them to run country? No, I think we have to be careful. Standards are important, man. It's not just young. We have young people. Kendra Stewart achieved as a lawyer. And has to act together so she can come make contribution to people. We have Kate Lewis, young persons. And we have others we can define in the same way. It's not just young, it's about contribution. I think that's the definition. We have a lot of young people. But I'm not going to put somebody in a job just because they're 20 years or 19 years. I don't believe that's the criteria at all, not young. Young and capable.
And finally, for me, are you committing that if you were to be returned to office, that March 14th is going to be an official public holiday?
If we get the results that I expect to get, you will have a national holiday.
What the results are? What's the results?
Caveat.
Next question.
Oh, just one quick question, PM. The polls are showing a NNP victory. That's what the polls are showing. In the advent of an NNP victory in the election, what are the implications for ongoing relationship with the social partners? I know you mentioned on the platform that you will expand that in an NNP victory, but we have seen you have been meeting with them for the past 5 years as almost as a second cabinet. But I think we've had a situation where maybe the NGO community seemed to be bullying the parliamentary elections office. A lot of that seemed to be coming out. How would that affect an NNP government being re-elected and expanding the social partnership?
It won't affect us. Our views and the behavior of certain persons, whether in trade union or NGO, will not affect what we do afterwards. Members of the NGO team that were on the social partners with us were known to be people very active in the opposition politics. That did not stop us from working. We made it clear from day one. Many members of the trade union movement last election were not supporting the NNP. Many members of the business community were not. And many church leaders were actively against us. That did not stop us from issuing, which I thought was a correct one. The election is over. We have a country to build. We have our political differences. We may or may not change them. But that should not be the criteria whether we work together or not in improving the lot of the people of our country. That's if we care. So the NGO community, and I could have seen some of them were very, not as relaxed as they should be from in the early part, but I think as not that they changed politically. I think I saw people being more open and honest with their feelings. We sometimes have a strong debate inside there, and sometimes I say, my friend, listen, remember, the government was elected. So sometimes we have to agree to disagree. Because if I go and take every decision that one part of an organization, social partners, want me to take, and if that causes problem in the country, and say to the people, well, I didn't want to do this, but the NGO made me do it, the business community made, I have to take full responsibility. So they understand that sometimes we have to agree to disagree. And a statement that got to all of them, I make the point, I said to them, particularly to our trade union brothers, I said, listen, you fought me, I fought you for years. In 2008, you succeeded in getting me out of office. Lost thousands of jobs. So I lost, and you lost. Let's go for win-win now, man. And everybody started to laugh. And I believe that's where we are. I want to make the point about strengthening the social partnership. And Sunday I will outline specifically how we will do it. But broadly speaking, I don't believe we have enough youth on that committee. There are a number of youth organizations. I think we should have representation from them. I believe we're too narrow with the business community, just the Chamber of Commerce. And then you and I know, Chamber of Commerce, there's not enough, broad enough business interests. So I think it'd be good to have the Hotel Association and other areas. So broaden it. So I intend to broaden. And I would pledge no major decision would be taken in government, as we did last time, without serious consultation with the social partners.
Okay, my final question. I believe it might be your last news conference before election. So
I thought my last press conference.
No, your last press conference before the election. Now, in reviewing last Friday, the NMP would have launched its manifesto. Yes. We would have had a manifesto for all previous elections. One of the things that some people do is review what was done and moving forward.
Yes.
The 2013 manifesto focused on the development of a new economy.
Yes.
This time you're present to continue doing some of the things.
Yes.
Some people are saying, up to now, they have not seen that new economy. What do you say to them? And out of your pledge of having a new economy, which of that new economy you think impacted most on Grenada?
Well, for one of the fundamentals of this new economy is the involvement of technology in the decision-making process. And people don't seem to understand that is the key fundamental factor. So if you're talking tourism, you have to have technological advancement, and we have seen some aspects of this, not enough. We're talking education, moving. When he came in government, I heard how the Ministry of Education was so well run in 2008, 2013. That was one of the worst managed ministry under the NDC. When we walked into government in 2013, do you know that the data in the Ministry of Education was not computerized? If a teacher, you had to find out where a teacher works, where she works or whatever, you had to go through a pile of papers. When I went there, papers high, so I said, wait, no, you guys live in a modern world? I can't believe this. We are now totally computerized. We now have a system in place where you'll be able to buy services now for your registry online. Very soon we're unveiling the whole plan of action because it's almost ready now. Cabinet will now be computerized, so no longer will we walking there with a bunch of pile of papers on us. Parliament also. So business are going to be different. The Ministry of Finance, the Inland Revenue Department, you should be able to sit at home and pay your property tax. That's part of the new economy. Makes things so much easier for you and for the government, and make it easier for us to be able to collect our revenue accordingly. And I could go on and on and on. Agriculture will change, tourism, healthcare. But the most important part of healthcare has to be technology. And I could go into history of how that should be done, but that's the nature of it. My dear?
Let me get one addition to that.
Mm-hmm.
The issue of use of call centers, was it initially part of that new economy? And if it is, what training has been done to the young workers in particular as to how what they need and how to adjust to make use of that economy?
And
because we all know from those of us who read a lot, it helped develop India.
Linda, that's an extremely good question. And I can't say we're perfect there. We need to advance more rapidly the training of our people. Because that's your right. Call centers are an important part of that new economy. And there are enormous amount of jobs. But because the kids are not properly trained, we are not able to access a number of it. So there's going plan of action. MARIP is doing quite a lot, right, in training people in several areas. And that's why Sandals and, of course, Silver Sands are almost taking up every single child that MARIP has trained and employing them because they are satisfied with the extent of the training and the deep understanding of the job that they're supposed to be doing that they have. So I think it's an area that we're zeroing on because there are enormous potential in serious jobs in that area that we have not been able to take advantage. So I agree that's a weak area, and I agree that we have to do more on. Yes.
Reasoning. Will we see a difference in your leadership style?
I think I said that yesterday someplace. I'm the same person, Keith Mitchell, but certainly my style has clearly moderated or changed to some extent because you learn. When some people say, man, is that different? I'm not in that sense. I'm a more experienced person. And I've learned from my mistakes. And if you are living, my friend, just like you don't want to make the mistake you make 10 years ago and make it today. The mistake you make now, you wouldn't want to make it 15 years from now. So I think I've become a pattern. Some people resist change and continue to make the same mistakes over and over. I'm not one of those. You're right. In fact, some things that happened that I see happening. People slandering. Maybe 10 years ago, I would have been fighting on TV every minute. But you don't see me doing that now. Because I realize in the end, I'm the loser. Because if you're leading and you seem always in a fight, then you're losing. All right, guys? Oh, here, Keisha. Well, just to say, members of the press, yes, yes.
Yes. I know you have said repeatedly that you hinted that this could be your very last general election. Are you keeping to that? That this is your last election?
Yes, I'm determined to keep it. But let me make this point. I am getting so much pulled back. Some hear me say this, and I got one WhatsApp after Tantine. And then another comment from, and these are people who are not normally NNP. You see, I hear you say you're talking about going, but that's not your decision, eh? We ever saying this. You say you believe in God, so stop that. I say, so I mustn't express my feelings then, about what I would like to see. In other words, my view is still the same, but I would not abandon my country. My job, therefore, is to do whatever I have to do to ensure that there is a smooth transition. And that's my job. Now, if I fail, then the pressure will mount on me to stay. You see the point I'm making? But if I handle it well, the people will not be too bothered, because I'm not going anywhere. Some members of my cabinet who are in my team, I expect to use them. I told them, brother, don't think you're going home and rest for good. You have work to do still. Alexandra Otway would be used. I'm making a point. You don't have to be in government representing the country or minister or prime minister to make a contribution to your country. Some of the best contributions people make are outside of cabinet. Okay?
I just had a kind of sly thought. I know Usain Bolt, who you admire a lot, was very confident of winning his last race, but in the end he lost. Would it be a surprise to you if Ali Dowden comes from behind and take it over?
He didn't train. He didn't train enough. I think that's not the case here. A dot in the I's and a cross in the T's. The first meeting I had this morning, 9 o'clock, was a campaign meeting, and I caution everybody: you are in good place. I have 3 polls, and I've seen the numbers wherever I go compared to what exists on the other side. But you never be complacent where politics is concerned. I tell people that I don't take the people's vote for granted. Every time an election has come, my secretary right now, she's compiling all my private letters and private documents. I go home with it before election. So if something strange happens, my daughter come back and say, please give me a little deal so I can take out my private stuff back out. Because I remember some time ago, a private letter of mine ended up in a certain newspaper. I got a nice letter from a young lady saying that she liked me, and they put in. So I want that kind of thing happen again. So I'm taking everything owned by me. What for the Prime Minister remains there. All right? Colleagues, just to say I enjoy this session, and to say that historically I've always been very happy to meet with members of the press. I certainly enjoy this one, and I just want to say to you, a role is important in what happens in the country. You must never minimize your role. The only thing I've always consistently asked press people is this: give nice, balanced news. Don't give NNP too much news and the opposition or that. But sometimes I see stories, and not just against my party, generally speaking, which shows that there's no balance. Somebody reports a story of a vigil. Your job is not just to report what somebody who's known to be opposed to the individual says. Your job is to go and search. And that's why I would always remember the Leslie Pear and Alistair Hughes. because they never did a story against me or anybody without calling me and say, what foolishness you do there now? And throw it on me. And let me respond. And if they don't like my response, then they put out their story the way they had it, or modify it. But I find, generally speaking, members of the press today, I don't find that level of, I wish we would see a lot more professionalism. I mean, I'm saying that to you. Some of you are my friends, and some of you, I believe, are sympathetic to my own political organization. So I've seen it to you too, that do your job professionally. A country is enhanced, its governance enhanced by a searching press, not a biased press. Okay? All right, colleagues, thank you all.
It's not really complicated. Elections are about choices. On March 13th, choose to keep Grenada moving forward. Mark an X next to the House. Vote competence. Vote NNP.